All right, good evening, everybody. Wait, birdie? Everybody. Goddamn, I'm still obsessed with that pigeon dating simulator game. Goddamn. Well, I had a super fun stream at the weekend, as I'm sure you're all aware. And if you're not aware, it was a 22-hour stream, which is my longest ever. Anyway, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Blender and getting you some skills. So, that's what we're going to be doing this evening. Is that music a bit loud? It maybe is a little bit loud. Oh no, I turned it up so that the volume difference wasn't quite as bad. Fair enough. So, what is on the agenda for tonight? Alright, so we start off doing some basic stuff in Blender. Now, one of the easiest things to do, really, and a great place to start is to go into some overlay creation. That's where we're going to be creating the graphical elements that can sit, behind any text that you've got on the scene, just to give it like a little bit of a look. We've already done a little bit of this, so the concept shouldn't be brand new to you. But today, in previous times, like I've dished out a couple that I've used myself, and today we're going to be making them inside. Well, we're not going to be making the same ones, but we're going to be making some brand new ones. It's going to be a kind of simple one at first, just to not push the boat out too far, but then we're going to go into a lot of things to do with like more advanced materials in the second overlay, which is the galaxy overlay. And what do these look like, you may be wondering? So we're going to do, I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to do the stickers overlay first, because that is much more simple. It just involves some simple work, but it will also get you a bit of experience at doing things inside of Blender. I don't think there's going to be anything that new. Oh, there's going to be a couple of techniques in there that are a bit new, but then there'll be a few more newer techniques and a similar sort of thing going off in the Galaxy one, which is hopefully not going to take too long. So, let's get in and have a look now. I don't think I missed anything from last stream. No, I don't think I did. So, let's get in and have a look at what these are going to look like as finished products. Alright, so the music instantly cuts off. I already have the overlay here where when I'm typing or doing anything, it should show in here. So previously we've had these layouts. Oh, I should probably explain what I've done right here. Right, so previously we had both of these overlays here in the main scene, and that's just where they were. I've moved these out and I've created a new scene, which you can do right click, add a scene. I'm not gonna, and I've got one here called overlays master, and I've put like lots of hashes in here to sort of like use it as like a visual separator from these things up here, because there's blank, there's the introduction screen, which we've set up in previous sessions, there's the main scene, which we've got here, there's the be right back screen. We invented this last time. Now, we did render it at half resolution, so it does look like it's a bit of a low quality resolution right here, but it's actually all right. And then there's the ending screen, which is just what it is, really, isn't it? So now we have this overlays masters scene, and I've got this like default movie playing in the background, just to show off the overlays a little bit. So we did this one previously. We did this one previously, and I'm going to turn those off. So the ones that we're going to be doing today, the first one is the stickers overlay. Oh, look, it's me. Hello, I'm here. Well, hello, in my dressing gown, all nice and sweet. These are just going to be some basic, like, little sticker things with these little shadows underneath them, but we're also going to have one for the webcam, which is here, and we're going to talk about how you can cut the edges of your webcam so that it actually fits. So you can cut it into weird shapes if you wanted to, which is pretty good. And then we've got the third Richard up there, because the third Richard is the person that we're streaming. You know when we set up that I Love Spam Sandwiches thing about 4 or 5 videos ago? Yeah, it's still counting off every minute. We're now 18,000 minutes since I implemented this once per minute counter of things. And at this point, I'm kind of committed. I'm just going to leave it going and see what number it gets up to when we actually finish the whole series. That could be very interesting. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will find a link to the Blender files that we're going to use, like the finished results, underneath the video on YouTube. But you won't do in the live stream because the live stream is all about making them. Although you could probably, I suppose, use them. Yeah, you could probably use them some way. So we've got the stickers one. We also have another one here, which we're going to do and implement with a slightly different technique. Oh, I am back here. I am. And it's a similar sort of thing. We have a nice little shine effect which runs over this one. This is an animated overlay. It's a pretty simple one, but we're also going to be talking about text. If I turn off the... If I go into studio mode and go to the overlays galaxies and turn off the webcam, you can see what's happening here. We've got like a pattern, a galaxy pattern in the background with a little border around it as well. Nothing too fancy. But it looks kind of static and it's not moving, which is sort of good because it doesn't pull your eye away from whatever the main scene is and what's happening there. But it does have a little shine that moves across it and it loops around so that shine comes back around after some time, which is fairly good. Anyway, we're going to be making those today. And there is another one. I am planning... Hold on. Let me turn this one on. There we are. Now you can see me again. Can I get a special badge for being the first follower? I mean, you can, but I'd have to go into this Twitch chat and VIP you. I tell you what, I'll try do it now. Tearglove, no. Tihi. What are all these names here? Who are these people that are holding out in this chat over here? None of them is Teddy Teabag. I almost vipped someone random then. I'll give you VIP Teddy Teabag. There we are. You are now unable to visit achievements page on your dash. Are you for reals? I can't even make you a VIP on this chat that you can't interact with. Well, that sucks. That sucks. Only just got the going live notification. We've done nothing, Teddy, so don't worry about it. We've just been demonstrating. We've got these two overlays here, and then we've got this other one, which we've demonstrated here, and we're going to be making these inside of Blender, which is going to be a lot of fun. I was about to say something else. Next week, we're going to be doing another overlay project, which might sound boring, but we're going to take some of what we've learned here, and we're going to have like an all guns blazing, like proper... neon gamery kind of vibe sort of effect going off. We're going to use sort of like a little galaxy pattern a bit like this as well. So I thought it worth showing off some of the basics and getting some experience with materials sorted out. I don't know, some of the little things around here. There is like a little blocky border around the edges of this. I don't know if it shows on the screen. Hello there, Christykins. I see you in the chat. Right then, so what was I saying? So that's basically what we're going to be doing. Next week, there's going to be another one, which is going to be, with the experience that we get this week, next week should be easier. Because I wanted to basically, originally, I was going to do this stickers overlay here. And then in the second half, I was going to do that other project, which I've shelved for next week. Because that one is going to be a bit more complex. It's going to involve animation, animated materials, editing, lots of editing and stuff. I don't know what's going to... Listen, I'll get to it. I'll plan it out next week, right? That's what I'll do. Anyway. So, that was a demonstration of the finished products. Now it's time to get on to the making of the things. But before I do, I'll have a little drink. Also, Christy, Teddy, thank you very much for that pizza that you bought me at the weekend. Was it the weekend? Actually, I think I had it on Monday because I slept through most of Sunday. Well, technically, that's the weekend. It was a bank holiday. No wonder this week feels like it's gone fast. I don't even know who I am anymore. Is there anything else that I wanted to mention before we got going? Was it nice? It was very good. I enjoyed it. It made me feel accomplished. It also made me feel fat. But those are the two feelings that, you know, make me feel content. Other than being rich, which I've never been yet. But that's a story for another time. Right then. So we'll get rid of that. And now I think we're done showing this off. Actually, I'm going to set this to be on the blank screen, so it's not doing anything. It's not using up any processing power. It's all good. Oh, what's this? Oh, I forgot to do the things. Right, so we're going to start off. I could probably just open it up. Stickers. It's right here. Don't save. Right, okay. So finished product inside a Blender. Oh, we're just looking at the webcam box right now. Okay, we are going to learn one cool thing, which I can demonstrate off now. Oh, should I do a thing? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I want to do a little thing first. Wait, no. This one? That one. There we go. FYI, it means you got to rig the giveaway now so we win. FYI, no. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm afraid I can't do that, Christy. Which, it's this one, isn't it? There was one thing that I wanted to just briefly mention, but we're in the Blender section. Sorry. You've already won it at least once. You already have won it at least once. Anyway. Meanwhile, back in the tutorial. So, just saying. Listen, if you had skills, you'd have already won it again. Right, okay. Little thing, not on this one. I want to just basically, before we move into doing stuff, I did go through this once before, but this, right, okay, so this, all these overlay graphics up here behind the text, all of this is like full screen movie. But if it's a full screen movie, why can we see through it? Why can we see the gameplay behind it? Because we've made parts of the image transparent. And spent the other one on games for everyone else. That's true. I can't rig it anyway. It's literally impossible for me to rig it. So I'm afraid I cannot. Right then. So, filters. We've got a... Oh, no. Do we not? Do we not? I'm very confused right now. Oh, wait. Because I'm looking at... Right. All of these overlays that are here are all separate scenes. I've confused myself, which is very easily done. So... we actually want to go down to here, and there's these text objects here. There's the title there, there's these little sort of overlay text objects here, and then at the bottom, there's this movie, which is the graphics, and it is just one movie. But in order to cut out the bits in between where there's nothing, because I've just turned an effect off there. If we go back to the overlays master now and select the right overlay, now that's what we see. And the reason for that is because this movie file is using... You rig it yourself? Good luck. Good luck. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. Give me a million... No. Right, it's because we've got something called an image mask blend. I'm going to browse and find this. It's up here. Can I open this in edit with photos? Will that work? I just want to see it. Right, okay. So we can see it here. It's basically a black and white image. So a mask is where it's white, it doesn't cut. Where it's black, it does cut everything away. So it deletes everything. So it doesn't make it black. It just deletes whatever the video is showing there. And that is why when I... Oh, I left the effect off. Whoops. Did I? Right, the effect is now on. That eye is on. You can see it changed everything there. That's the background color right there. But when we didn't have it on, it was black like that. So hopefully that makes sense. And yes, this even works on movies. We saw a little animated shrine going across there. Pretty nice, pretty cool. Anyway, so we're going to get into making that now. So I will change this to the blank scene, which has nothing in. And where is Blender? We don't need that open. What have we got open there? Oh, that's just my Twitch dashboard in case I need it. Right, okay, so we have Blender here. I am going to open a new file. As always, if you have a question about something related to what we're doing, ask it as soon as it comes to you. Don't be shy, because you might not be the only person that has that problem. So, welcome back to Blender. Just a reminder, in case anyone's new here, we're still on Blender version 3.41. It shows it down there. I feel like I've not got enough icons down here. When I'm streaming, I normally have like 2 behind-the-scenes programs running. I have another thing running, which I probably should have running to update my actual overlay elements. Oh no, they're not even switched on this stream, so it doesn't even matter. But I've opened up another program to make myself feel more secure. You do have a question. It better be about Blender or I'll temp ban you. Just saying. Okay, so remember, to move around, hold down middle mouse button and drag around. Easy stuff like that. Is Blender anything like Grindr? No. No. At least, I assume it's not. I've never used Grindr. So, unfortunately, if you were looking for something which is similar to the apps that you're already familiar with using, I can't offer you any support in that. I'm sorry about that. Well, you come in for the wrong thing then, if that's why you're here. Anyway, what we're going to do first off is just do a quick refresh on some stuff, right? So hold down middle mouse to orbit your camera around. You want to click on an object and focus on it. Numpad del, that does that. We're going to be using those things a lot. It does say numpad dot, it calls it on the bottom thing there. I've got an overlay here because I am likely to forget to mention something basic. And then this is a camera, which is you can numpad 0 to look through the camera and numpad 0 again to get out of it and back to where you were. And this is a light over here, and we could move this around. We could give this light, if we press F12 to render, we get this. And if I was to change the light's color to be pink, for instance, we get a pink cube. Well, it's gray on one side because the light's not shining on that side, but the grayness of the world is reflecting on it. And to delete object, you press the delete button and the delete button, and you click and then you delete button. So, to start this ball rolling, you want to be deleting all of those because this is something where you can follow along as well. You can also, I'm going to Control Z. I think I explained this last time, but you can actually press A to highlight everything and double tap A to unhighlight everything. So A to select all, double tap A to not select all. You can also drag out a box like this and delete like that. So we've gone over some of the basics. It's time to press numpad 7. What numpad 7 does is it puts you in a top-down view where everything's flat. Now from here we're going to press Shift and A to bring up the add screen, and we're going to add in a plane. It's not a plane as in like a Boeing 747. It's just like a flat plane. Let's just have a quick look at it, make sure it's actually got no other sides. No, it doesn't have any other sides, which is exactly what I expected. We want to scale it up. This is going to be like the outsides of one of those stickers boxes, right? So we're going to scale that up. So we're going to scale it along this red line. And what dimension is this red line? Does anyone remember how to find out? If you're unsure, I already know. It's ingrained in my memory. It's the X dimension. It shows you the dimensions up here. Remember this little compass. As we move around, it changes to show which dimension is in which direction. All up and down everywhere. It's X. It says up at the top. Jesus Christ, she's learning. She's evolving. We're going to press S, X, and then I'm going to go with 12. No, I'm not going to go with 12. S, X, 10. I've always used 10. I'm going to use 10 this time. Now, for the interest of saving a little bit of time on this, I could show you how to do multiple different lengthwise, X-wise sizes of box. You know, ones which are like bigger or small. Let me make bigger or smaller. I'm just going to go with SX10 for this, which should be good. So this is going to be our pink sticker, right? So what we want to do is we want to give it a material, because this is really boring. But before you do that, press Z. Do you remember this little thing? It's the shading menu. Opens when you press Z. And then you can select a shading mode. Even wireframe. We're going to go with rendered. And this is just so we can see fully the effects that's happening. Now you're probably wondering, hold on, why is this grey? We've taken the light out of a scene. Shouldn't it be black? When there's no light, shouldn't it be black? Well, yes, it should, but if you click on this red little icon over here, which is World Properties, there is a background color here. So if you click on this, you got a little slider here, and oh boy, look at that brightness jump scare right there. Let's get rid of all that. Sorry about that. So make it black. Just drag this to the bottom like here, and now it's completely black, which is great. So now we want to give this a texture because it's now completely see-through. Let's go for it. Click on this little box down here. This is the material properties. We're going to give it a new material, and you can click in this box to rename it. We're going to call it sticker pink. I'm going to call it pink. You don't have to. If you want to use a different color, that's fine. So we can change the color here and make it pink, but there's no lights in the scene. The lovely pink color cannot be seen. Well, the only thing to do is press Shift and A again and add in a light. Now I'm going to choose to use a sunlight here. We're making graphics, so a sunlight is going to throw light in the downwards direction along the Z-axis from an infinite source above, fully without any kind of like fall off or shadows or bits that aren't done. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And I'm also going to click on this red thing to move it to the side and move it so it's gone. As you move something around, you might notice that your mouse cursor zips back around the window. It's fine. We've moved it out incredible that we can't even see it. It's completely gone. But it's still illuminating this object because it is like a global light source, which is pretty cool. So we have this lovely pink, very basic pink. Oh, wait, I've pressed numpad 7. I've pressed numpad 7 right there. And now we can see his object. We're looking in the top-down view again. How lovely it looks. Actually, I'm going to change the world properties. I said we wanted this black, but I don't actually want it as black. I want to have it as like a bit of color there because we're about to make like a black undershadow for this object type thing. Like an old... I don't know how to explain it, so I'll just show you. Where is it? Stickers. It's here. Oh, wait, we can't see it from there. If we turn on overlay stickers, now we can see it. This little sort of like it's a little shadow type thing or a little... I don't know what you'd call it. Someone that's good with art will know what the flipping name is. I don't know. But it's just something to make it look a bit more funky. Actually, this box is slanted. Oh, the box is slanted. Okay, I forgot about that. Right, so we're trying to make it look like that. Oh yeah, one other thing. If you have the plain... Let's call it sticker. Can we call it sticker, please, and have some naming conventions? You can double-click on an object up in this object outliner here to give it a name, which is what I've just done. It has, by default, materials have a little bit of shininess to it. So the pink is a kind of pale pink. To change that, you take this specular value here and you click, hold, and drag it all the way down. Now it looks more pink. You don't have to use pink. You can use a different color. If you wanted to, you could set the base color to be orange, green, whatever suits your vibe for your channel. Purple, nice rosy purple. All right, yeah, we'll go with that then. We've got red, we've got all kinds of colors right here. This is going to be a solid color background that you can put those bits of text on, like we had up here. So actually, you know, you can probably get away with whatever color you want, so long as your text objects have a black outline around them, just to give a little bit of contrast on the edges of the text. Just saying. I'm sure you all remember when I mentioned that in lesson 2 or 3, one of the two. Anyway, I'm going to move that back to that. Right then, so we wanted to give it a bit of a slanty vibe and make like this box like have a bit of a slanted edge. So how are we going to do that is we're going to press tab, and tab takes you into edit mode. It'll tell you that up there. As we said before, in edit mode, once you press tab and you're in it, you can't click on it. Well, you can, but it doesn't do... Or can you? I don't know if you can. I don't know. Anyway, it's irrelevant because we've just got one object, but you might not be able to get out and click on another object. So click this second little label up here to remind you, because edit mode is extremely important, this plane right here is made up of three things. It's made up of corners, it's made up of lines, and it's got a face. That's the thing. Like, the material we've applied is applied to the face. It's not applied to the lines or the corners. Well, actually, technically, the corners are called vertexes. It's a vertex, and we could move that around, give it a crazy-ass shape. But really, what we're going to do is something more simple. We're going to click the second option, which is to select lines, like this. And we're going to click on this. There's no object moving handle. You can click on this button here to add one in, like that. And now we can slant that over to our heart's content. That's too much. Just give it a little bit of slanting like that. Give it some funky... What do they call this shape? Is it a rhombus? Is it a rhombus shape? I think it is. I could be wrong. So that's a sticker. We've made a sticker, and that only took we've done it in like 30 minutes. Well, actually, a lot of that was the intro and me explaining the things that we're going to be doing on waffling. So it probably only took about 5. Excuse me, I need a drink. Once again, people, if you have any questions about anything that we're doing, or I don't explain something, which is quite possible, feel free to pipe up. Right then, so what I want to do is I want to have a black version of this shape that's a little bigger at a different angle behind it. Now, we're going to add in a camera in a bit, but what I'm going to do is we've got this blue thing here we can use to raise it up or down. You can click on that blue thing. I'm going to Control Z right now, but I want to do it with some precision. So I'm going to hold down Control and click the mouse and move it up just one. And then Control moves it up in these little steps like this, which is pretty cool. I've moved it back to where it was, just one above the grid. I've pressed numpad 1 to go into the sidewards view there. And obviously, as the shape doesn't have any thickness to it, it's just a flat piece of paper. We can't really see it from this angle. So numpad 7 is the way to go. So with this having a slanty shape, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift D, if you remember. That's duplicating the object. Now, we could left click after we're pressing that to place the object there, but oh, wait, I pressed Control Z and it deleted the object. Okay, but I'm actually going to just right click instead. So we've got this other object. I'm going to go into wireframe mode for a second. That's Z wireframe mode to change the thingy here. And then I'm going to just freestyle press S and then scale it up a bit. Now, what you're probably noticing, unless you're blind as a bat, is that it's scaling a lot more on the sides than up and down. So it's not scaling evenly, which is not great. But that's fine. What we'll do is we'll click just when, actually, make it a bit bigger when there's a bit of a gap. Now, if I zoom in a little bit on the shape, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 there. We got a lot more than 3 there. I'm not counting it. So what we want to do is do the same thing we did before, just tab in edit mode. And we're going to this time select 2 faces. So click on one side face, click on another side face, and we want to scale these but only along this red line, which, as we've already discovered, is SX. So you're scaling it in the X dimension. Actually, make that a little bit thicker on that side. Hold on, how did the finished product look? Can't remember now. So it was a little bit bigger, but it was also rotated. Okay, so it wasn't so much a case of scaling it. Right, well, ignore me then. I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z until they're both the same size again. Make it just a little bit bigger. How much is this? You know what? S, hold down. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, S, and then just hold Control. And then just make it one block bigger. Then tab, click on one side, hold down Shift, click on the other side, S, X. I'm insistent that we're going to do this. And then we've got this other object, and then we want to rotate it. So looking straight down at it, we can press R and just manually rotate it some way or another. That's probably good. Probably good. Can't remember how I made this now, to be honest. So let's go back into rendered mode. We can't really tell the difference. We've got the two shapes there, but we can't really tell the difference between them. At least not yet. We need to give the sticker, the copy of the sticker it made, a name. I'm going to go with sticker_shadow. Just like that. And we also need this to have a different color to the main sticker. So what I'm going to do is there's this button here. It looks like 2 pieces of paper. New material. If you do this, it makes a copy of your material. And I'm going to click here and type in shadow. Because this is going to be a shadow. I know, it's brilliant how that works, isn't it? Right, okay, the sticker shadow is... Oh, this was up in the air as well. Oh, damn. Right, press numpad 1. The duplicate object we made is in the same space, so it's a bit hard to tell where one is and where the other one is. Hold down Control, click on the blue arrow, and move it down. Like that. And now, numpad 7... You can see it. Because both planes were in exactly the same space, the engine was like, what? Which one's on top? So it was doing that weird flickering thing. Now it looks a bit better. Except it looks a little... Does it look quite like the things? Those seem to dip out a little bit more. Those seem to dip out a little bit more. I'll tell you what we'll do. We will then do SY to scale it up a bit. I like that. It's got a funky kind of vibe. That'll do. We may not end up with exactly what I already put in, but that's okay. So we have this here, and that's basically one of the things done. Now, I said before, and I'll show you how it's done, that maybe you want different sizes of these boxes. I haven't used them in the overlay thing which we used there. I used 4 that were the same size, but maybe you want some. Maybe you've got something which is like a little goal number or a little progress percentage thing that just needs a smaller box. In case you do, and you want such a thing, I'll show you how to do it. You want to click on, you know what, go up here to the collection of objects and click on one and then hold down Shift and click on the other and then duplicate. And it's made a copy, and then right click to put them back where they were and then move it upwards, I guess. So we've got a copy now. Let's give it a name. So we'll call it sticker 2. And then we'll call this, imagine it, sticker 2 shadow. When you duplicate an object, it always tries to put 0.001 on the end. And you would probably just want to, I'm going to see if Blender's as good as I think it is. And it might not be, but it might be. I am going to click on the shadow object. I'm going to click on the other objects while holding down Shift to select both of them, basically. And then I'm going to try press Tab and go into edit mode. It seems to have gone into edit mode. Can we select between the two? We can. Oh my God, Blender just got a whole lot better. Right, so we want to move these sides in. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this far outside here in line mode, remember? Well, actually, it's edge mode. Its actual name is edge mode, but I use the word line because it's better. And then on the other side, click and get the same ones. And then press SX. And do that. That looks pretty good. We've scaled them both in. Just like that. That's how you can make a different size box. Pretty neat. Actually, there's a bit too much shadow on this one, so I'm going to SY and make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that seems to work pretty well. So then we've got that, and this is all looking extremely good. So the next thing to do is we want to, if we go back and refresh ourselves, we've got the same thing here around the webcam. Now the webcam, we're also going to do something interesting to do with masking. That's what we talked about where we use a black and white cutout. We'll get to it. That's how my webcam seems to fit so well inside of this. The webcam's not reversed, so when I go this way, webcam me on my screen points the other way. It's very confusing, but not relevant. We do have the things up there, which is pretty cool as well. So that's basically, we've made that bit. It's time to make this bit. Now, if I turn off the webcam so we can see properly, I've turned it off there now. This one has a thinner border. Technically, it doesn't fit the style because this has thicker borders. So I might make this with a bit of a thicker border around it than what we've got here. But you can probably already tell how this is going to play out, right? Because this is, well, it's basically the same as this, but it's taller. Yeah, that's literally what it is. Oh, wow. So actually, the easiest way of sorting this out, hold on, let me go back to there. I keep going back to the blank screen because there's nothing in that. Oh, there is. There is something in this apparently, but there's very little in it, so it's not using up a bunch of resources in the background while we're doing this. Well, sod it. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Let's make another copy. And we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to move it up like this. We're going to move it up quite some way. And we probably want to make it bigger. So what I would advise doing now is pressing S 1.5. Is that too big? No, it'll be fine. It will be fine. Okay, so as we've done this the same way, we can actually just... should we... Okay, let's try a thing. Actually, yeah, I'll select both of these. We'll do what we just did. Hold on, let's rename them. Webcam. We'll call this one webcam. We'll just call it webcam. And then the sticker 2 shadow, we'll call it webcam shadow. Remember, double click on these names to select them and to change them. Right, so where are we going now? Edit mode, right, so select one object, hold down shift, select the other one, press tab. Now we'll see if we can cheese this the easy way. I'm going to click on the top there, I'm going to click on the top there, and then I'm going to move these upwards like that. It sort of works a little bit. Now, most webcams are widescreen, so this is kind of square like now, but widescreen is wider than high, if that makes sense. So get something that's a bit wider than high, but not too much. Oh, right, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Is it just me? Or does the background shadow look smaller because of something or other? I'm going to make it bigger. Rotate it a different way. Oh, wow. What's the... Oh, yeah. It's because it's rotating around a very strange point right there. Okay, I'll scale it up just a tiny little bit. Just a tiny little bit. I'll probably move it down because it was mostly scaling the wrong way. That looks pretty good. There's one other thing that we want to do right now, though. What we have in here, is there is a hole in the middle, right? So, yes, I'll tell you about something else now. Now, as well as using that masking thing, that black and white masking thing we talked about a little while ago, we're actually gonna, right, I tell you what, I'll demonstrate this easily. I'm going to add a camera to the scene, and you should too. I left it in that thing. I can hear the movie playing in the background. There we go. I'm going to add a camera in. You know what? There's a big difference between where these are at. I'm going to move them closer together. Just move them closer together. You don't have to be exact with a lot of this, but just maybe put them kind of close together. Move the camera to about here so it's in the middle. But the camera is on the floor. So I'm going to move it upwards. Doesn't matter to where to precisely because this camera... Oh, it's brought up the camera settings. That's nice. We're going to change it from perspective to orthographic. The difference between the two is a perspective camera has depth and an orthographic camera does not. So then we scale it up like this, and it's anything, no matter how far away it is, down below all this stuff will look the same size. What is this? Only one can know me. Only one can know me. Thank you very much for the 9 months. So we've moved a bit too far out now. We can see the edges of its borders right here. So I'm going to press F12. So we have this. We have a picture of what we've done. All right. But I want to make the background transparent. Now, this first overlay project is just going to be simple. So it's easy to do this. Basically, you can turn on transparency. There's nothing in the background. Actually, there is. That might disappear. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the render properties. Yes, the render properties button up here. We're in Render Engine Eevee, by the way. Go down to where it says Film, and there's a box that says Transparent, and turn that on. Wow, what happened there? Well, now when you render it out, there's this little checkerboard. I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good indeed. Thank you very much for the sub. I hope you're good too. Now that's just telling us that this is invisible. If we were to save an image in a certain format, it would save this transparency, which is going to save us some headaches. But there's no space in the middle. We technically don't need one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put one in. I'm going to put one in just because I can. So we're going to make an object like inside of this, like an inner border, which is going to be the edges of the webcam. But here's the thing. That object is going to be transparent. But if you think about it, hold on. If you think about it, if I'm going to make it, I'm going to Control Shift and D to duplicate the object, the middle one. And I'm going to move it up like this. But if you think about it, if this top object is transparent, then it's just going to mean that the object behind it is shown. So we don't actually want to make it transparent, but I am going to press numpad 7 to get back up here, and Z to go into wireframe mode, like this. And then we need to scale it down around the center. We picked up the top part of this and just pulled it upwards. Now what that means is the center of the object remains where it was before we did that. So it's off-centered now, but we can fix this real easy. I love how you know more about drawing software than I do. Well, there's always a chance to learn. So to fix this and put it so that it centers back in the right place, because at the minute, if we scale it up, it's mostly scaling upwards, which is not good. We want to, we're scaling it down for one, so we want to scale it down like that. But you can see the border there is very big, and it's zoomed away from the top. I'm going to Control Z that. Go to Object, Set Origin. This center point of the object is called its origin. Set origin to geometry. And now it's kind of gone in the middle. And now if we scaled it down, it scales normally. Actually, if we Z and rendered mode, we can see this a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's not bad. So we don't want to make this transparent. We want to make it, well, we want to make it transparent, but we want to make it transparent so that nothing behind it is shown. And there's a special thing you do for that. So we're going to go down here to where there is the material properties. And we're going to make on this, we'll call it the webcam. We'll call it the webcam window because it is going to be a window. And where there's these two pieces of paper to make a new material, you're going to click on that. And we're going to call this invisibility with, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 7 Ys. It's got to have 7 Ys or this effect won't work. I'm kidding. It would work. Right. So where it says surface here, it says principled BDSF. That's this thing that has all these different variables in. We're going to click on that and change it to holdout. And now you can see that we've got an object that has the same transparency effect. It's not showing stuff behind it. So if we go back into as camera view and press F12 now, that invisibility effect, invisible transparent effect, is in the middle of that object. It's not just showing the object behind it. I draw most things freehand, so I mostly just use layers. I haven't used layers in quite a long time. There even seems to be a little, it feels like there's a little bit of a shadow. There's certainly a little bit of a fall off going there. Hopefully that doesn't result in anything too bad. And this is almost done. There's just one final thing that we want to do. Are you animating this? This one's not animated. We're going to be doing a little bit of animation on the next one. which we're going to do after the break. Probably we'll be breaking in about half an hour for 10 minutes, so maybe about 40 minutes or so. We should be starting the next one. Sorry, just having a drink. We're not going to be doing very much animating, but the one that we're going to be doing next week is going to be like a sort of neon retro vibe, full detail animated one with all the bells and whistles on. We're doing a couple of sort of startup projects to get the basics of doing the overlays this week. But there is going to be a little bit of animation in the next one. I'll show you. I will actually show you. So we had this here. This is what we're working on now. After the break, we're working on one that looks like this. It's going to have more materials. None of this is animated per se, but it does have this animated shine which goes across it. And basically, spoiler alert on what it's going to be is we're going to set all these up, but then we're just going to have a light which is animated to move across. See, you could have like all the different patterns and everything on there animating. I'm probably going to make these boxes a bit thicker because I feel like I made them a little too small. And this one to put inside of OBS is actually really simple to do anyway. But yeah, this only has a little bit of a shine. So it feels like it's not actually animated. So it's not distracting on the eyes. Some people's overlays, perhaps including my own, are a bit too... The animation is a bit too obvious there. So it's always kind of pulling your eyes towards those elements and away from the game window or whatever's happening there. But they do look cool. So I thought I'd do sort of like a middle step as well, because the one I'm doing next week is going to look a lot better than this. But it is going to take probably a full 3-hour sesh to do. And it would be better to have an in-between step. So that's why we're going to be doing that. Right, okay, so there is one other thing that I want to do, and it's quite important. This webcam window thing we've just made, I want to Shift-D and duplicate again from that. And you might be thinking, what the hell, what do we need another one? And I'm going to hold Control and move it up a little bit more. And this one, we're going to call webcam mask. Now, if you were here earlier, you know what that's going to mean. We're going to click the 2 pages again to make a copy of the material. This material... Yeah, wait, what did I click on? I think I clicked on use nodes. It's going to be emission. We'll call it emission. And it's already gone to white because it theoretically emits a color. It's not actually going to emit a color, but it theoretically does. And I'm going to give it a strength of 99999. We'll come back to that. We don't want that to render at first, though. So I'm going to click the eye icon to hide it in the viewport, but if I pressed F12, it'd still be there because we need to press this little photo icon over here. I wish I had a button that I could just press and it would zoom in, like around my mouse. I wish I had something like that for zooming in a little bit to show you off the details. But hopefully you can see that's a photo camera icon. Anyway, it's gone now. So now it doesn't show in the render and we just have what we had before. I am going to suggest that you make your own life easy here. We could take this render, save this image. It would have this transparency in. And then like we've done in here, no, not in there. In here, we could make copies of them here. But this is just one of those bottom tabs. So you'd have to cut everything else out of. You'd have to do a crop effect to crop it to just that. I'm going to suggest that you don't do that. I'm going to suggest something which will save you time. And it's to do with, let me move that back over there, rendering it. So I'm going to press numpad 0 now to be in the camera's viewport like here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just render out a little box around this from here as just an image. So it'll just be an image of just that box with everything else already cropped away. And it'll save us having to mess around inside of OBS. Do I have a Stream Deck? The magnifying glass to your Stream Deck. I probably could. I've never heard of that, such a thing, though. So we're going to click on the camera. And I want to move it down so that this longer box here is centered. So I'm going to press GY and move it down so it's kind of centered like that. And then I want to take this orthographic scale. It's actually orthographic scale. I know what it is, but This window is a bit small. Orthographic scale. And zoom it in a bit until we have it just about touching the edges there. It's slightly off to one side, which is annoying my OCD. But wait, let me make it bigger so there is a little bit of space. Damn, that's really annoying. I can't tell you how much that's annoying. Right, I'm going to press G, X, and move these so that they're slightly more centered. I think maybe my camera's off center. No, oh, it is off center. I'm an idiot. Wait, no, I'm adjusting the objects. All right, okay. My camera is not off center. Wait, why? 0.6. No, that's fine. If it was on the Z-axis. All right, okay. That'll do. We don't have to have it perfect. But we only wanted to get this one thing. So what I want to do is if you go to the second option, which is your output properties, this is where you can set the resolution of your image. Baron of Anarchy, hello. Listening while at work. Very calming commentary. It's meant to be a tutorial, but, you know, if that's how it works for you, go for it. Also, I have a new shout-out command. I've only just remembered this. I programmed one in. Wait, I haven't got the program open to actually use the shout-out command because I'm an idiot. Give me a sec. Where the hell is it? Why is my brain, like, foggy today? StreamerBot. Open up the StreamerBot. Yes. So I've been having some problems with my shout-outs recently because I was using something that's always worked for ages and now isn't going to work. It's not opened yet. Let me give it a second to open and connect. Partially connected. What do you mean partially connected? Don't partially connect me. Partially connected, dick up your asshole. God damn. Let's see if it works. It didn't work. It's not connected to... no, platforms, Twitch, accounts, event sub. That didn't work. Okay, well, you know, it wouldn't be a me stream if everything worked first time, would it? Well, this was working before. Well, all I can say is the chat client is connected. What the hell? Well, this setup is in a later tutorial. Let me just try. Do I have any other commands? Let's try this one. See if this one works. Emotes. That one doesn't work. It's not connecting. Maybe it's because I have two things open. Disconnect from the chat client. Connect to the chat client. I will kill something. It's not connected to Twitch. What's up with this? What about if I logged out and then logged in? Okay, I'll try this one more time. If not, then... No! Let's try Baron of Anarchy. Will it work? No, it's dead. Well, I'll shout him out the old-fashioned way. Because he's a Baron, and he's also pretty funny. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, I didn't spell shout out correctly, did I? Baron of Anarchy. And Pirate's here as well. Pirate Only One, Konomi, and the Baron of Anarchy are all streamers. Give them a follow. I spent so long doing that. Right, okay, anyway. So, meanwhile, back over here, you can set the resolution of the image. Now, if you move the Y, you'll notice it gets taller or smaller. So actually, we just want to move this so this fits in the box. That's almost right, but I think we need to move the camera a little with GY. So yeah, this is in the output properties to remind people. And I don't think the X1 moves it. It moves it up or down for some strange reason. I'm not really sure why. And this is currently going to make it very big. So I'm going to set this to be 50%. And then if we press F12 now, we just have this one graphic. Thanks for the shout out. Work? No. Please? No. But please? No. Yes, that sounds like me talking to my behind-the-scenes streamer software. Maybe it's a Twitch thing. It says it's connected to the chat now. Let me try again. If I could spell people's names, this would work. Nope, I don't know. I don't know. It's just having a bad day. I think it's because I've got 2 copies of OBS open, which are not working. Right, but we pressed F12, we rendered this image. Right, so now image, save as, save your image. I'm going to save it as sticker long. No, sticker info, because it's an info panel like that, and it will add PNG on the end like that. So now if I go back to OBS, we have all these stickers and everything already in here. I'm going to get rid of the actual stickers. Yes. I'm going to get... You know what I'm going to do, though, to make things stand out more? Have you added a browser source for it? No, I don't need one for that. It was working before. It's definitely, almost certainly, because I've got 2 copies of OBS open. I am going to... Wait, what else did we have? We had the overlay stickers webcam effect, which is right here. I'm going to get rid of that. In fact, I'll get rid of the webcam too. Oh boy, I might have to set up a new webcam, and you might see, hopefully not past the edges of my green screen. Hopefully not. So all we've got now is I've deleted everything except the text. So now we're going to add an image, and I'll call this OVRLY stickers info. Because it's going to be basically an info panel. I'm going to hit browse. And here we are. This is the one that we just made. Okay, it's right there. Only problem is it's massive. But you can already see just from this. This is at the borders of the image. But those parts that were transparent, it's going right through there. So you've got that set up. But I did also want to, just to have something in the background, add the gameplay media source from before. So I'm going to make this bigger so we can see, and I'm going to put it at the back like that. So now you can see its effect properly. I'm trying to click on this. Right, okay. So I'll make this smaller. And to be honest, you can resize it to whatever you want. And if for some reason you decide, oh, actually, I kind of don't like that color anymore, you can just stick a filter on this image, a color correction filter like this. And then you can change the hue and shift it to be whatever kind of color you want to. That's a lovely mint green color right there. Whatever you wanted to. But I'm going to just leave it with the pink, because we started with the pink. We will finish with the pink. I don't know what blurb means, but I assume you do. Right, okay, so at the minute this graphic is over the top of everything. So I'm going to pull this down so it's underneath the text. And it's kind of not in a good position, is it? So I'm going to move it there. If it's trying to snap out of position, you can hold down Control to move your graphic around with some degree of fine tuning. Technically, this goal box isn't ever going to be very big, so I can hold down Shift and resize it a little like that. It's not actually very clear what these two things are, but this is followers, this is subscribers. I'm at 53 subscribers. Holy, oh yeah, mind you. I did the 22-hour stream at the weekend, and people were very, very generous, for which I'm eternally grateful. Except, no, I am grateful. But except I should also add in, oh, balls. Can I, right, you can copy this object. In fact, I'm going to transform, right click on your graphic, go to transform, go to reset transform, like that. Actually, make it smaller first. Like, so it's about there. And that's pretty good. So it's about the right size up and down. It goes off too much over this way. So what we're going to do is, before we squish this one, we'll make copies of it. So we're going to press copy, right click copy, and then paste a duplicate. Remember, it's got to be a duplicate because it's going to be its own object. And then we're going to move this over here. It keeps snapping to stuff, so I'm going to hold down Control to have control of the object. Right, because this is possibly going to display a name, it technically... No, I didn't mean to move it. Needs more space. I'm going to hold down Shift now and squish that down. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click this. I don't feel like I've done this. Anyway, I'm going to move this over here, like that. So that's over there. And then this Taz the Weeb text No, no, no. Is it selected? It is selected. Now I'm going to move that over there. And this one does have some space at the side, but that's kind of good because some names on Twitch can be very long. And then we've built in space for that. And then to make, wait, only one. You were the most recent subscriber. Congratulations. Is it a sound redeem thing for channel points? Oh, wait, what's this? It's a sound redeem. Oh, right, okay. No, I don't have that. I'd make all mine manually because I'm an idiot. Well, I'm not an idiot, but I just like doing all the things. We're going to paste a copy of this smaller one. I'm going to put it over here. Yeah, feel free to chime in if you have any questions about what we're doing, because I may just skip something. Okay, so I'm moving this goal over here. I'm just going to move it manually like that, and that should be fine. Bit of a smaller goal window. Wait a minute, did I set a goal of 55? Damn. All right, and then I'm going to right-click on this larger one, and again, paste a duplicate and move it over here. So this one is going to end up looking a bit different to our previous one, but it's okay. This is just an example. I'm not lining these up too well, so I'm sorry if your OCD is kicking off. The image needs to be dragged under the text so that the text can be shown. New sub. Newest sub over here is going to be Only One Kenobi, who does have a long name. So that's kind of a good example. Good job he subscribed there. Then we've got a long name to demonstrate that this name is very short, but you can get longer ones. Very good. Yes, this does all the work for you. I suppose so, but I don't like relying too much on third-party like services, because every now and again they go down. And if it's localized, if I made it, then I can theoretically mind you, I can sort that shout out command out. Oh, well. I think I know why that is. It was working before, so I'm sure I know why that is. It's because I've got this copy of OBS open, which you can see, and the copy which is broadcasting what you can see. So it's like that. And that's half of the work done. But we also want to put the webcam in. So, webcam time. Let's go back to Blender. Remember this is a Blender tutorial. But we've been just adding it in to... I was going to say Twitch, to OBS. Where is my brain today? Who's stolen it? Someone has stolen my brain. Right, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. It's square now, so that should be enough. The camera, I'm going to press GY to move it up. Oh, the whole screen moves when I do that. Okay, I think that's maybe about right. Let's have a look. Let's find out. This is also going to be massive. And this is off to one side as well. Right, I'm going to turn on all these webcam objects. Hold down Shift and click on all of them, and GX to move them slightly sideways because they're going off the edge of the frame. And I think now if I move this in slightly, I've got to watch that top and bottom edge. Oh, I'll get a bit close to it there because my camera is still not quite centered. Right, there we go. If we press F2, oh yeah, we have that white box on. We don't need that white box yet. Webcam mask, turn both the icons off. And now we've got a see-through mask. There's even, I swear to God, there's just a little bit of shading, like there's a shadow behind this, which actually is a cool effect. Anyway, image, save as. It's going to be called sticker, I'm going to call this one sticker webcam. Webcam. Like that. And then save that one. And then just before we finish with Blender for a little while we pull everything together inside of OBS, I'm going to press these buttons on everything else. Well, in the webcam section to turn everything off except this webcam mask. And the reason for that will become very clear. Also, this is going to be cutting out on the webcam, so we don't want these thick borders. So I'm actually going to camera, click on here, change the orthographic scale so that the white bits are only just inside the border. Hopefully this works. It will either work or I'll look like an ass. So you guys get a treat either way. So I'm going to save as. I'm just going to save it over this webcam mask that I've already got, to be honest. I'm going to save it like that. Wait, it's not cut off. No, it isn't cut off on one side. So that's there, and that's been saved. Right then, so inside of us overlay area, remember you can, if you want to move all these to a different one and organize them and then just have your main scene. So it's got only a few things in, including that overlays master scene, which is right here, is at the top. Just right click, add new thing, give it a name, move everything into it. Shouldn't take long. Webcam. No, webcam. C-A-M. Webcam. I was going to make a joke then. I don't know why I'm so tired today. Oh, I know, because I've been getting up earlier ever since I did my 22-hour stream. I've been getting up at 8 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. Overlay stickers, that's where we were. Almost forgot where we were. Add in an image. And this one is going to be OVRLY. Stickers. It is an image, yeah? Yes, it is. Webcam. And I'm going to click browse. I'm going to go for the sticker webcam, which is right here. And you can see it's right here. You've got an effect right here. It's a little big, mind. It's a little bit big, mind. I might make it small. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Sorry, I'll figure it out. Make it a bit smaller. Oh, wait, no. Actually, I'll leave it as whatever size it was. Was it that size? It was that size. Okay, so now we have to add... Oops, I've dragged that off there. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. We need to add... Why am I always doing things like this? We need to add in a webcam source. Right then, so... Video capture device. And I'll call this webcam. Obviously... Oh, look, it's me again. I'm going to pre-select some settings here. You can choose whatever resolution you want to, but the ones I remember of using is going to be that one, which is there, and FPS 30 or highest, whichever one you can get away with, like that. And then I'm there. You can actually see my wall here. This is my wall. You can actually see the past the edges of stuff there. So the first thing to do on this is probably webcam filters. If you've got some unwanted stuff at the sides, what you do is you go into this little plus here, and you can click crop pad to maybe take out from the left side 100, like that, and maybe from the right side 100, like that. That seems to work. There's a little bit of green at the top above my head. My head's not that big, and I'm never going to get up that high, so I'm actually going to... That sounded wrong. Cut a few pixels off of the top of that. Not too many. Stick my head up a little bit. No. Right, that should do. And then we've added a little bit of a crop on that, which is pretty good. So close that. Oh, fuck, we wanted to do another thing. Right, okay, so with the crop pad, after that, you want to put in an image mask. This is the black and white cutty thing. Webcam mask like that. See what's happened? It's made my webcam also have that slightly slanted look about it, and it's just perfect right there. So now I'm going to put the webcam down here and move the webcam itself underneath the graphic, and that's pretty good. And I want to scale these together because it's far too big. This is like, this kind of view is like self-obsessed streamer that's too full of themselves, and that's not me. So I'm going to group these items, click both of them, hold down shift and click on both of them, then right click group them like that, and you get a group. And I'm just gonna you can collapse a group like that, but you can also select both the things in the group together and scale them at once like that. I'd love you to stick your head up a little bit. Oh no, why do you say these things? Why do I react to these things? All right, so we got that there. And the great thing about this, the setup which we've just got, is all of these elements are individually movable. See, for instance, really, in this game, Hold Fast, there's some game critical information up there about how the match is going. So you want to maybe have stuff off at the side. I could even move my title to be above or below my webcam. It doesn't have a sticker itself. I mean, I could give it one, or I could just have it over there. That's not easy to read. Go mental. Cut, edit, cut. Right, okay. So in a nutshell, that is pretty much how to design your first one. So if you've been following along, be sure to turn things on to make it look good or whatever. And don't forget to save it. I'm actually not going to save it because I've already got one there. So that is how to set up one of them. Hopefully that's not been too fast for people to follow. I've been trying to definitely make sure that I don't go too fast for people to follow, but as we get into the more advanced tutorials, I'm not going to be sitting here reminding you, this is how to move the camera. This is how to click on an object. We'll sort of get into it a bit. And of course, the little help thing's always there. So, after the break, we're going to be working, don't save. Nope, all that work I just did is gone, but it's all right because I had one already saved. How do I move the camera again? Tune in last week to find out. Right, so we've got a setup here. We might not go for exactly the same vibe, but we have these little elements here, which the borders of them are a bit thin. I think I'll make these a bit thicker too, as well, when we go through it. And there's actually like an animated shine that moves across the surface of just the borders, which I think is pretty cool. So that's what we're going to be doing after the break. So we have now done the stickers overlay, and it only took just a little over an hour. Just a little over an hour. So we're going to have it's going to be a 10-minute break. As per previous sessions, what we'll do in that break is I will go and sort myself out for the first 5 minutes, but I'll be back here if anyone's got any questions. So if you did have any questions or anything unrelated you wanted to ask, hopefully about, you know, the blender in or the streamer in or that kind of thing, feel free to ask them now and I will answer them when I get back. But for some reason I put my be right back in this main section. So break, let me turn that source group on. And I'll be back soon. Enjoy this light music. Right, I'm back. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. If not, tell me about your day. How's your day been? What have you been up to? What mischief have you got yourself in? You look like someone that's always getting into mischief. ADPs. Sure, I should know what they are. Oh, I know what they are. Is that those change of addresses? God, they're annoying. Oh, the music had a little stutter. That's unfortunate. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I've just remembered something. Oh no, I've just remembered something which I haven't mentioned to anyone ever, anyhow. And I completely forgot about. Let me just check something. The giveaway ends on the 1st of June. That's today. It is today. Oh, it's giveaway day. I forgot it was giveaway day. Right, I'll just do... Fucking hell. I'll just do the giveaway tomorrow. I forgot all about that. So, while the timer ticks down, if anyone new here doesn't know about this, I run a giveaway every month where you can win a 50 quid Steam gift card voucher. Basically, I'll just send it over Steam and you can buy a thing. I'm not doing the giveaway today. I'll do it tomorrow. Because I didn't advertise myself as doing it. So, you do actually get an extra day. Actually. While you're watching, you're earning these points things that you can use in exchange for tickets by using the !tickets command. Or you can just go to the giveaway link that appeared in the chat a moment ago and buy your tickets through there on a nice looking interface. And the winner is randomly pulled. So it could be anybody, and there's no way for me to rig it, although several people have wanted me to, and I haven't. Hello there, Charlie Annie. Hope you're doing pretty good. Thanks for stopping on by. And I hope your day has been very good. God damn, I can't believe I forgot that. Mind you, you can't really stop a tutorial halfway through to do that, and I'm probably going to be finished by what would be the normal time anyway. It makes no sense. So if anyone here came for the giveaway's got to be tomorrow. Because I didn't advertise it, and now I feel like people would be missing out. I'm sure there was something that I was oh, there was, and now I've forgotten it. Something that was very important to remind people of. Ooh, to do with the webcam. I'll do it when the countdown ticks down. If you've been trying to follow along but I've been going too fast. All good, you doing good. Pirate won the giveaway. Yeah, I'm sure he's already won it before. I'm sure he's won it one time before. Got to be in it to win it, though. It should be a fun time. Should be a definitely fun time. Anyway, yeah, if you've been trying to follow along but I've been talking too fast or something, or going too fast, you can watch the videos on YouTube. You can check out the whole video series that we've been running here. If you follow the link at... Is this going to work? Oh, that works. Oh, because it's done through Stream Elements. So you can go check out the YouTube playlist, which starts from the very beginning. The very beginning of connecting up OBS and Twitch and all that stuff that you maybe have done all that many a time ago. How fucking old am I? Am I from the 18th century? Maybe I am. And Cornish. Who knows? All the way through to now. So if you have followed along, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to keep up with future ones. And also take a moment to appreciate all the progress that you've made. Because you have made quite a lot, and you're about to make some more. Right then. Okay, let's turn all that nonsense off. I need to get some new break music. That was just some YouTube video I found like about 3 hours before the first session. Right, okay, so this is a Blender render, this is basically what we're going to be hoping to get. Before I mention that, though, there's something I really should have mentioned by now. Oh, look, here's me again. Right, okay then, so I'm going to go into this other one, this Galaxies thing, and I'm going to turn on the webcam source in here. Except it didn't work, which is bad. Oh yeah, right, okay, yep. So the crux of the matter is this. If you want to have... Guys, why does only Pride have its own month? What about the other 6 deadly sins? Good question, Jones. Good question. If you have a webcam in your scene, nope, this isn't the webcam. The webcam's in this group. We literally just made this. You need to right-click it and click deactivate when not showing. The reason for this is I have a webcam in this scene, but when I turned it on, it worked. But if I was to transfer between these 2 overlay scenes, it wouldn't load up the webcam. The reason for that is only one thing can use the webcam at once. If OBS tries to access the webcam and it's still in use by the scene that you're clicking out of, it will not load the webcam in the new scene. So that could be a problem. But hopefully if you're only using one of these overlays, it won't be that much of a problem, will it? Hopefully not at all. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is making this one. Can I turn off my webcam view now? We're going to make these boxes a little thicker. There's a little animated shrine that moves across the objects as well, which we're going to do. And that'll be a little bit of animation that we're going to do. So it's not going to look quite the same as this, because I never make things the same twice. But yeah, there goes the shine again. But yeah, these boxes need to be a little bit wider. Now we're going to do this one in a slightly different way. That first one we did, and actually you can do the same thing where you have like a little mask or something. In this, it's not going to show, but we do actually have an image mask that cuts away all of the black background from this movie and makes No, what? What happened there? Things went weird. Excuse me. And then everything here is transparent, so it shows the rest of the game or whatever it is through that. If we was to go to the overlays master, no, we have the wrong one on. And yeah, you can see the transparency effect right there. So that's how it's going to work. Now, I only made this earlier, but I can't quite remember how I did it. Well, this is going to be interesting. Oh, well, it might not look quite the same. It might look much better. As heretofore, feel free if you're following along to maybe not use something that I'm going to be using inside of Blender and doing your own thing. See, for instance, if I was to... I'm in the finished Blender file right now, the one which I used before. See, in this I had these little blocks around the edges, but I don't know about them because they were pretty hard to see. They were all right, but they weren't bad. So if you wanted to use maybe a different kind of pattern, I'll show you how to experiment a little bit with them, because mostly the point of doing the second overlay tutorial is to do a little thing so you have a border in it and teach you a bit about animations, but mostly teach you about how to make some cooler looking materials. Like this border here is kind of alright. It's made out of a brick texture essentially, and then this is made out of 2 noise textures, which we're going to cobble together. So, but we'll get into that. I'm rushing ahead. So new general, let's go with it. Don't save this. We're going to start from scratch. Right, here we go. Now this should be possible because I did it on my hour lunch break. But what I did, I'm not really sure. Firstly, if you've not already, click new general, get yourself in a new scene. And then press A to highlight everything and delete it like that. Is there... Oh, wait, no. The little thing is not on. There we go. It's on now. I've left this on that, haven't I? Because I can hear the background movie a little bit. I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, I've got some tea left. Okie dokie. I'm pressing numpad 7, as you can see there. I'm moving in and out. It will show you what I'm doing there, but I will try and explain it. So, I'm not teaching you how to do the camera things. We've already been through that. And if you don't know, you'll have to watch the video previous to this one in the BBSBS playlist, which was the first Blender one. So we're going to add a mesh, and it's going to be a plane. We're going to SX10 to scale it that way a little bit. You know what? We'll start off with the camera actually this time. We will add in a camera. Over in the camera tab, click it and change it to orthographic. But it's at that bottom place now. Click here to turn on these little widgets and then move it up somewhere. Again, what did we also do last time? We added in a sunlight. So we're going to add in a sunlight. Shift A for the add menu, remember? Of course you do. Of course you remember that. So we're going to move the sunlight up here and then click on the X arrow and shift it off to the side somewhere. Won't be rendered. Doesn't matter where it is in the scene. It provides light anywhere. Anywhere. No. Right, press Z. Rendered. Okay, so we could make this brighter or not bright and change it up like that. We only need it as 1 though. We only actually need it as 1. Didn't I want this to be... Because I did this as SX10 before, but it ended up being a bit thin. So maybe, I don't know. Right, let's click on the camera, press numpad 0 to be looking through the camera perspective, and zoom it out. Zoom it out, and zoom in so it's not like a little stamp letterbox thing in the middle. And make it so... To be honest, this is 2 of these big squares, well, wide that you can probably see. So really we want it to be at least 8 big squares along. So that's 1, 2, 3.5. If we make it bigger like that, although some of the boxes won't need to be as big, but I'm going to make these all about the same size. But I'm going to have maybe it being 4.5. 92. Yeah, 90. You know what? 92? 92 is good. So I'm going to move this. This is going to be like the corners of the stream then. So we're going to set up the position of all of the boxes inside Blender. Right, so I'm holding down Control to move this around. Is that going off the top of the screen? It is. All right, click on the camera again. The top part of the box is being cut off. And make it bigger until it's not. Till that's not the case. That does now look kind of small. So actually, that size 93, let's make that 96, like that. And then this box here, zoom in on this. And we're going to scale it in the Y dimension, this up and down one. So I'm going to press SY. And I'm going to, you know what? I want to move it. Do we get another grid? No, we don't get to see another grid, apparently. Oh, no, we don't get to see another grid because we're not in numpad 7 mode. If we're in numpad 7 mode, the grid just keeps changing. All right, so now we can sort of see a grid here. So there's one full square there. I'm going to press SY, hold down Control, and it's almost not doing anything. All right, let me do it near the middle because then it might do more. S, Y, and then hold down Control, move it up. How much? Oh, no. S, Y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's a bit of a thicker box. If we look at this from the perspective of, yeah, that looks good. I think that looks good. That's what we're going with. It's more about, after the end of this, you'll be able to, if you think, no, I want a thinner box, you'll be able to sort that out for yourself because you'll have learned all of the things. All right, I'm going to hold down Control, move this over to the side, which is right here. We're going to set up. You know what? I'm going to put the one box in, and then I'm going to give this box. Firstly, I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it panel background. Panel BG. No, I'll call it stars BG, like this. And then we're going to give it a material. So click this little red thing, which is material properties. Click new. Give it a base color of, I don't know, blue. That's not the color we're going to use, but we're just going to use that to sort of like be able to see it a bit better. Once we plan out the overlay positions. Now, these are all going to be copies of the same thing. We're going to edit the material in a little bit of how this looks, but because these are all going to be using that same material, which we haven't named, Stars BG, we have now, then it will be easy. We can make any change to any one of these, and it will be affected on all of them. Should we do the webcam too while we're here? Because this is also going to have the same background material. We'll put that around about there so it's in the middle. Now this one wants to be bigger, so we want SY and make that a little bit bigger like a webcam. Now, unlike the other one, unlike the stickers project where we had separate objects here which we could resize, we're going to do this because it's going to be animated as just one movie. So it might be an idea to get a sense of scale of where everything's at. So what we're going to do is what we did before. We're going to make the background transparent. So we're going to go into this first box here where it says rendering engine Eevee at the top. Well, actually, if you hover over it, it's called render properties, this section. Go to film, turn on transparent like that. Press F12 to render. And we've got this here. It looks like the most amazing and fabulously designed overlay that I've ever seen. It actually brings a tear to my eye. But as well as bringing a tear to my eye, I'm going to save a copy of it and just call it test. So then in 5 years' time, when I wonder what test image is, I'll have to open it up to find out what it is. And now we're going to go to, we've got overlay galaxies here with everything in. I'm going to delete the movie which we've been using in the background. The overlay movie that we've been using, that is. Because we're setting up a new one now, and I'm going to add in an image. I'll call it test. And this is just going to be, guess what? The test PNG. Actually, it would look, oh, it doesn't quite fit that text there. That's our thing. I'm going to add in as well a media source, which is that background gameplay. So if you made a gameplay video, something like this, earlier in the series, which you may have done, I did ask you to, then you'll maybe know about it. But the third Richard, which is this account's thing up there, is MIA. It's mostly behind the thing. So I'm going to say that probably if we go back to his Blender here, we could move these and make these smaller. Tell you what, I think there's a... oh, wait. Okay, let's make these just 10% of the same size. So S.9, which will scale it to 90% of its size. And then click on this S.9, like that. And then here, S.9. And then here, S.9. And then these are sort of like getting spread out a little bit. So I'm going to move these. Oh, it's a bit hard to see without transparent. It's very hard to see the background grid. I'm going to try and move these this way a little bit. And then sort of like be a bit more into the corner. Oh, actually, I'll move these sidewards to whereabouts I want them to be. I'm moving these manually now, which is never a good idea because things are going to look off center, but I'm just moving them a little bit. You can position them more better if you wish to do it properly. Are these... No, there needs to be a little bit more of a space there. And that hopefully is going to be good. So if I do the same thing again, if I go image... Oh, wait, no, I turned off the transparency. You see where it said film? Good night, baboon. Sweet dreams. I will have sweet dreams. The same to you, pirate. And don't forget, giveaway day is tomorrow, everybody. Giveaway day is tomorrow. I forgot to advertise it in advance. All right, so we've got this here. I'm going to save the image. Save the image, just doing exactly what I did before, saving it as test. I will have to... Oh no, it's updated because we can see it all now. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Those boxes look to be a pretty good size. That looks to be there. That's all right. We had something appear there. I don't know what it was. And the webcam doesn't look too obnoxious. So yeah, this should be good. All right, now we've got that sense of scale and where things are going to go. Let's make that blank. Right, so we can get rid of that rendered view now. And now we can work on as material. Right, so we want this to be stars in the background. Now what I want you to do is, you see down here, you've got this little timeline. I want you to bring this up a little bit like this. We didn't name any of these stars BG. I am going to rename this one. I'm going to rename this one to stars BG webcam, just so we know it's different. I mean, we do because of the shape of it, but I'm going to... Webcam. Webcam. Okay. No, I'm going to change it to webcam. Right, okay. And now is probably the final time, before we move into anything that's more serious for you, if you looking at this overlay we've got here, you want your webcam to be in a different position, you can do what we're about to do, and you can move these around and make another separate movie image and another layout of what we're going to make here if you want to. It's perfectly fine. You can have multiple. Like we said before, in this, it's probably a good idea to do it. So instead of having a bar there that's covering up all that game critical information of Holdfast, I could have stuff over the side. None of these earlier overlays had a webcam in though, but we've got that now. That is kind of covering them up a little bit, so technically this isn't a great one for this game, but you'll figure it out. I have faith in you and your abilities. But yeah, this is probably the final time to move the webcam or anything around before we get more into it, because at the minute it's easy to solve those problems. But feel free to come back and basically just adjust these, just move the things that we're going to make each of these things here into a different position and then re-render it, which is what we're going to do. Okay, first order of business. We pulled this up here. In this corner, you've got a mode selector, an editor type, because this is currently a timeline. That's why you can move things around on there. We'll be coming back to the timeline, but not yet. Click on here, change it to shader editor, which is here. Now, what have you got here? You got the shader editor. You zoom in and out on the shader editor with the wheel up thing and shift and holding mouse down. Shift and middle mouse being held down will move it around, which is pretty good. This is the shader editor. We may have talked about this before. Have we? Well, I hope we have. I'm going to get rid of this thing. I'm going to click on this window here and get rid of it in a sec. But what is this? This principled BDSF window right here that you see is basically the list of, I mean, like, it's very obvious. If I click and change somewhere else and change this, those change color. So it's exactly the options that we had in here. That's basically what it is, and it's a list of all these different effects that you can put on. Like specular, you could turn that up or off, and it will change how the thing looks. You could even make it metallic, which would theoretically make it reflect everything, but it's not going to work for reasons. But you'll notice up here that there's this other box, which is material output. So when you have a shape, this square here is a shape because it's filled in. It's filled in with a face. Now, the material output is what it outputs to, well, the surface is on the faces of the object. The volume is inside of the object. Now, all of these are flat, but if we had a cube, inside of that cube would be its volume. And you could use that to make like a smoke box, which we are going to be doing in a later thing. It's just basically going to be a cube that doesn't have edges, but it looks like it's a cube made out of smoke. It's going to be good. But anyway, that's for a later tutorial. I didn't preview all the things that we were going to be doing in the future tutorials at the beginning of the stream. Oh well. Oh well. You'll find out next week if you didn't watch before. And as before, you can watch any of the previous episodes on the YouTube. Anyway, with that little shout out, what we're going to do here is this. If we disconnect this from this, because this is like a little wire, you can click on this window at the top, on the top bar, well, anywhere on it, and move it around like that. And you'll see that this moves, because this is something, if you click and move off of the surface, when you disconnect that, they've turned black. The reason for that is nothing's connected to the surface anymore, so it's just output in black, because no color, no material is black. That's what it is. We reconnect it up by click dragging from one to the other, and it's back again. It's apparently purple now. I changed it to purple. I was waiting for it to change back to its green that it was before, but never mind. So we want to make this into a star field, and I'll show you how to do that real simply. So let's click on this and get rid of it, and then press Shift and A, and you can bring up an add menu, and you have all these different options of things that you can do in here. Some of these generate images and patterns. Some of them generate shaders, which are a bit different. Some of them transform things. Some of them convert things. There's lots of things that they do, and we're going to be getting knee deep into all of this stuff next week. It's some pretty exciting stuff, but for now I just want you to go to texture, noise texture, click down here to add it, and then you see where it says color. Connect that to your surface to see what it is. Okay, these are stretched out a bit. I knew this was going to happen. Go down to your webcam view to get a better look here, but don't make this part too small. It's sort of like noise. If we adjust these options, you can see, whoa, things are changing. If you adjust it the other way, this scale option, you see things getting bigger in a strange way that's very difficult to understand. This is a noise texture, right? And we want to use this to make clouds, but it's got all these different kinds of colors in now. It's outputting all kinds of different colors. So we need to convert that. We need to convert all these colors to something that's, well, just a couple of colors, and that has little clouds and patches, because this is just like flecks of all kinds of different paint everywhere all at once. So we're going to Shift A to add something in the middle. And as I've probably already given away, we're going to do something from the converter, which is called a color ramp. And we're going to drop that in the middle. You see what happened there? All the color's gone. So basically what this does is this color ramp, because it goes from 0, which is where the black little thing is here. Whoa, that's changing stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. What it's doing is from the darkest parts to the lightest parts of the image, it's replacing it with the colors that are here. Now we can also add in, if I was to click on the white thing and press this plus button, we can add in another marker, and then we can click on this color here and change it. Whoa, that's gone crazy. Change it so that there's more of a different kind of color there. So that's pretty cool. But I think we wanted blue clouds. I think that's what we were going for. So we need, oh, that almost looks like sky. Do we need this? I don't think so. I'm going to change this. I'm going to pull the black up and move the other marker down. And you can see we've starting to get kind of a cloudy kind of shape going off here, which is excellent. And it's just what we wanted. It's just what the doctor ordered. So we want this to be like the sort of nebula clouds that you see in the sky, except they're very small right there. And when we zoom out to be about the right level, if I press F12 now to render it, it does look a bit like clouds a little bit, but they look very small and far away, and they don't make me happy. So we're going to scale it up a little bit. About there, that's not too bad. Yeah, that looks it's kind of all right, but as you can probably see from this, they're very blurry. But thankfully, this noise has an option for that. If you go to where it says detail and you click and drag it and increase the detail, did you see that? Did you see these get more detailed? Like that. Look at that now. We've zoomed in quite far on that, and that's very detailed. That does look very much like a a cloud or something, a nebulous cloud. I also want to do another thing, which I think I did before, and it was kind of cool, is I'm going to click on this blue here. You don't have to use blue if you want to have... God damn, that little pop-up label is now very much in the way. If you want to have, like, green clouds or yellow clouds or red clouds or purple clouds or whatever kind of clouds that you want, you can have them. But I'm going to go with something a bit more like a natural-ish sort of blue color. But I also want some highlights in there. So I'm going to add in another marker and maybe make this one yellow. All right, can I make it a better yellow than that? Like a proper yellow. We're not seeing any yellow in this for some reason. And that makes me sad. Oh, we're starting to see a bit of yellow in it. Maybe yellow is the wrong color. Maybe... I don't know. What's going to be the right color? Like a lighter blue? Actually, that kind of looks nice. I kind of like the look of that. There's a little bit of a blue tint there. If we drag this up even more... Whoa! Sorry about the jump scare there. We've got some crazy options we can use. And this is all just with a little bit of tinkering. Just with a little bit of tinkering, we've already got us clouds. Now, there is a problem. If we go back up here... The clouds up here look really stretched. And there's a way to solve that. There is a way to solve that. The reason I'm hesitating is because I wasn't sure which way to do this. But I actually discovered in Blender something which I never knew about today, which is going to solve this problem. And it's also going to look quite trippy. So, as we move around the scene. So we're going to do it. So, over here, press Shift and A to add an input. This is something that tells you, that gives some sort of like initial direction to how the images and textures are applied to the object. And we're looking for texture coordinate, which is here. Right, okay. And all of these have blue circles on them. Can you see that? They've got blue circles on them. There's different colored circles, which I don't want to overwhelm you too much by talking about. But this is blue, and this vector here is blue. So this noise texture, you can give it instructions for how it's going to apply the noise. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to, where there's a camera here, we're going to click. We're going to drag out a little thing, and we're going to connect that. So now, whoa, we've got a big texture there. And as I move around the scene... The texture itself ain't moving anymore. The texture itself is like just not moving when the objects move, which is kind of trippy. It's also pretty cool. But the scaling's gone crazy on that. But if we look down here, that is no longer stretched, but that looks like there's far too many clouds in it. It looks patchy, if anything. So what we want to do is bring the scale up. Whoa, so we're zooming in, zooming in. Zooming in, that's probably about right. So what we've done is we've told it that, hey, how you apply this noise texture is based around the camera. So when I'm moving the camera around like this, the texture ain't moving because this part of the texture here is always going to be here on the screen. When we move this across here, it's almost like this has become a window with the texture behind it, which is sort of pretty cool. Let me zoom in a bit. Maybe you'll see the effect a bit better. This part of the texture is now, because it's relative to this camera here, is always going to be there. So if we move this off to the side, we just see something else, but then we can move it back and it's the same thing. Doesn't change. But this does present a problem of us finding out how it looks. So the best way to solve this is to press F12. And let's have a look here. All right. It sort of looks all right. I don't know about these ones up here. They look a little... They look a little strange. I think what I need to do is... Can I press numpad 0 to be looking through here? I can. All right, because when we press numpad 0, because we're looking through the camera, that texture doesn't move. Oh, you see, I've been using Blender for 10 years, and I only found out about this today. And I've seen it in Blender a while. I've just never used it. All right, there's a little too much highlight and it's creating a weird kind of color vibe. Oh, that's better. The background clouds are not as pronounced now. We can also, there's another option. Well, there's two other options that we haven't talked about. One is roughness, which is what? What the hell's that doing? That can make the noise patterns go very crazy, but I do like the effect. And then there's something called distortion, which is like bubbly distortion everywhere. It's very crazy. You can see what it's doing up there. It's crazy, but we're not going to use that because it kind of bends the stuff and it's not very good. Okay, so I'm going to make there be a few more bits and pieces. Now, the background textures for each of these little tabs is looking individual and different, which I kind of like. It's not just the same image there, the same image there, the same image there, the same image there. And it's definitely not the same image there. So it looks pretty... Oh, I can hear the police. They're coming to arrest me. Oh, no. Well, that was nice. That was fun. See you in 10 years, everybody. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The police aren't coming for me. The roughness, I think I'm going to take that down a bit. It provides a little too much detail, in my opinion. So that should be good. But we also want something else. We want stars as well. So how would we get stars? Well, actually, it's pretty easy. In fact, it's so easy that what we can do is instead of like adding some other stuff, we can just click and drag a little box out like this. And then you've highlighted both of those two things there and press Shift D to duplicate and move these down here. You can move them manually and then click, and that's fine. And we're going to have this be the star pattern, but we kind of want the star pattern with the background nebula stuff as well. So we do have to add something else. So we're going to go Shift A and add. We're trying to add two color textures together. So we want to add color, mix color, which is here. We're going to do that, place that there, connect that up there. Well, before I do, let me just show you what's just happened. You might still be able to see a bit of that nebula, which is right there. If we change this mixing factor, you'll see more of it start to appear, but it will otherwise go to this. And that is the color which is down here. So basically, this is going to mix two different things together. And we can just move that to there. And then we don't have that ugly color there. And I'll make this 0.5 like this. But we need to sort of stars out first. So I'm actually going to click and drag from this. These things were just created to the surface, so we can work on them without anything in the background. And why do these look different? Oh, I know why. Because these are different. Because we haven't connected these up to the camera. Let's do that now. Had to wait for that label to disappear. I never thought about that when setting up the label thing. It's now covering things that I'm trying to use. Right, so at the minute, this is just exactly the same as the top, but we're going to change that now. Okay, so on your color ramp, click one of these three things, if you did indeed make three things, and get rid of it. And then this other colored one right here, you want to make this, I'm going to change it to RGB. Blue full, green full, red full, so it just becomes pure white like that. And now you can see that we've just got white clouds, which is not ideal. It's not what we wanted. But I'm going to move the white down here like this, and I'm going to move the black down. Oh, I've moved it too far down. Everything's disappeared. Okay, we want some things there like that. All right, we've got these things. I'm going to say this detail thing that you should reduce that so that things are more blobby, because this is going to be representing stars. You could maybe turn the roughness up a little bit. And we've got that there. But if these are stars, they're far too big. So this scale thing here, you want to pull this up. And now it's starting to look like stars. Very much like stars. But if you've ever seen a picture of space, stars aren't actually all just white. So what we want to do is we do actually want to add in another color node thing. And we're going to drag it to here. Round about here. And we're going to change this to be... what? Do they go orange? I swear they go orange. Maybe there's someone here that's good with stars that can tell us the answer to that. I don't seem to be able to see much orange, though, which makes me very sad. Anywhere. Huh. All right. Well, we could give things a bit of an orange halo then, can we? All right, we could do that. Sort of works-ish, but not really. We need all these to be very close together. Now it looks like the lights have a kind of orange tint on them. Like that. There is as well a little too much roughness perhaps on these. Huh. Actually, let's move all these down a bit because these stars are getting pretty big. Roughness. Can I make that like that? Okay, that works better. Kinda. I'm going to move the orange down there. I'm going to have these mostly be white. Because stars are they just mostly look white-ish. But I'll maybe change this white color so it's kind of a little bit orangey. Bit like that. There we are. If we press F12 now, does look a little bit like stars. Does look a little. We need to move these down a little bit. The further down we make this section with the colors on, the smaller these stars are going to be. Whoever put up the detail, will that... Roughness. That makes it... Oh, that makes them smaller. I like that. F12 on it now. That looks very nice. That's going to do. That is going to do for the stars. So let me just show you what we've got in case you want to just copy exactly what we've done here. We've got this noise texture and a noise texture, and this is a texture coordinate, which is Shift-A input texture coordinate for that. And then we've got the noise texture up here. I'll briefly flash the variables for these things here. The exact positions of these markers don't need to be exact to get a similar effect. And then the second set of numbers is down here like that. And that's a color ramp. And these are mixed together. Actually, they're not mixed together right now. But if I pull this mix result to here, it will replace this other thing which is connected to it. And then we'll get a stars, which look like that. Now, okay, they look a bit corny. I think this dark blue is a little too dark. Maybe needs to be a bit brighter. That looks better. I think that looks better. But I'm an idiot, so what do I know? So just like that, we've got as first material. And it looks pretty good. It looks pretty damn good. So now we want to work on the edges. So in... Oh, I don't have it open. Where is the galaxies? Oh, wait, we changed it, didn't we? Overlay galaxies is right here. Did I get rid of the... Oh, I got rid of it altogether, didn't I? Add in a media source. It's not in anymore. No, create a new one. Browse for it. It's going to be this. So we're going to have a little bit of a border, which you can kind of see there, but not very much. I'm going to make the borders a little bigger. And we've got this like highlighting flash that moves across everything. I already think that we've made the things bigger. Let me just check. Yeah, I believe that they are actually... Yeah, they are. They're thicker. Thicker. Right, okay, so... We're going to work on that. The borders are going to be a bit, just a little bit more visible and bigger because it's a bit hard to tell what they are. They have some nice detail on them, but it's a bit hard to tell what they are. So I'll move this back over to the empty scene for performance reasons. And let's, now that we've got this trippy effect here, wow. Now that we've got this trippy effect here, let's press numpad del to focus on one of these objects. We want to put a border on this, and it's going to be the same shape as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press on this, Shift and D, which as you all know now is duplicate, and then I'm going to right click. And then I'm going to hold down Control and move it upwards like this. Now this wants to be a different shape. What I may do, yeah, what we need to do now is we need to go into edit mode. Do we need to go... Do we need it? Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, I'm going to go into edit mode like this. That's the tab button. And you can see it's changed the mode up there. And it's showing us now the dots at the corners of the shape, the lines, and the midsection. And we want to delete this face. And you might be thinking, what? We want to delete, get rid of everything? No, we want to... Remember, this shape right here is made up of the corners, these vertexes, as they're called, and the edges between these vertexes. And those things together allow there to be the face in the middle. We only want to delete the face, so in edit mode, if you press the del key, it'll bring you up a menu, and you can say only faces. And it's pretty hard to see. Well, it's not hard when I highlight it, but it's got rid of the face. That text is gone because there is no face. There is no surface on which to apply it. So what we want to do now... Have I done this the right way? I'm not sure I have, you know. What we want to do now is tab out of edit mode, add modifier. That's the spanner over here. Add modifier and go with wireframe. And this didn't do anything. All right, press Control Z, press Control Z, press Control Z until the shape texture appears. I've told you wrong. And now, still in the modifier section, it's back now. And now add modifier, which is wireframe. Oh yeah, it won't be visible. Like, modifiers aren't always visible in edit mode, so you'll have to tab out of it. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, I'm going to go into the solid view mode now. It will be easier to explain what is happening, hopefully, within... Oh no, I didn't do it this way. I did it a different way. I'm an idiot. All right, we haven't actually applied this modifier, so it's okay. If I go back into rendered mode, this wireframe modifier that we've applied here, click this little X here. I've just remembered how I did this, I think. Did I do it that way? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I did this on my lunch break today for the first time ever. I've done similar things before, but just dry running through it. So forgive me if I'm a little lax on this. But we are going to go into solid view mode. And yeah, we're going to go into edit mode. We're going to delete the face, just the face. We've still got the outline there. You can just about see the outline. Look at me, professional on tutorializing and stuff. So we want to make it so that there's some edges going towards the middle. And the way to do this is we want to make this into a tube-like shape. So imagine it's like a square tube, but it's got some height to it, upwards. And then what we want to do on the top part of the edges, we want to move it inwards a bit, so it creates a kind of pyramid effect. And rather than me explaining it in a horrible fashion, why don't we press numpad 1 to go into the side view, press E. Did that work? Oh no, because we're not in edit mode. Right. Make sure you're in. Hello. Make sure you're in edit mode. Right. I'm in edit mode now. Press E like that, and it's doing kind of what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna hold Control and drag it up. That's too far. I'm gonna drag it up a couple of squares like that. So it's only just a little bit. And this is exactly what I was saying. We've got this top edge right here. In fact, I can probably just press S.9 right now. Oh, we've got a bit of a problem. This problem's hard to see unless I go into wireframe mode. Some of the edges are not are bigger than our other edges. So I'm going to Control Z on that, and I'm going to press S.8, which is the same problem, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into edge mode here, click on one line over at this side, and click on this line over at this side, and then press S and X, and move these lines. We're scaling only in that X across. Yep, X is the red one, dimension. Actually, we've made the sides a little too thin there. Just like that. And now we have a bit of a shape going off there. There is a problem, though, in that this is a copy of the other shape, so it has its texture, and we don't want that. So this shape is this one, right? Yeah, okay. So this star's BG shape 004 over here. We're going to change that to be edge. Edge. We'll just call it edge, like that. And then we want to go into its material, which is here. Oh, no, yeah. We do want to go into its material that's here. Don't go into this section yet. And we want to make a new material for it. So we're going to press this remove material slot right here to get rid of that. And now it's changed, you see? It's changed to be something else. We're going to add a new material. And just by doing that, we can probably press numpad 0 now to go into camera view and F12 to get a look and a sense of scale. I think, oh yeah, when you zoom in and out in this rendered view mode and moving around, you might start to forget where no zoom is. But if you go to view up here, fractional zoom 1:1, it will make the image the original size. That looks about right. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to press escape to get out of the rendered view mode. And I'm going to get numpad del when we've got the edge highlighted like this. And it's time to make a new material for this. So TLDR, I am going to do what I did on my lunch break today and just keep it as a tiled surface. So we're going to add in a texture. And this is going to be a brick texture, which is right here. And I'm going to move this up, connect the color up to the surface so you can kind of see what's up on this. Okay, there is indeed a brick texture, but it looks kind of squiffy. This has the same kind of problem in that this is a stretched object, just like these clouds were stretched before. And we're probably going to solve it in the same way, even though this will be a bit weird to work with. So we want to Shift A and add an input, which is a texture coordinate here. And then where it says camera here, we want to pull this and connect it to the vector. And then this is going to start to have the weird brick effect. It's weird because the bricks look like they're kind of moving somehow. I'm not sure how that works. But now we can see the texture. But from this point, we have to be looking through the camera. So we have to numpad 0 to see what it looks like from the camera's perspective. And it looks like a brick wall. But this brick wall is made up of these bricks here, which look big right now because we're zoomed in. But if we zoomed out a lot, if we pressed F12 and had a look at what they looked like in the finished image, oh boy, they're so pixelated. They're barely even readable as things. I mean, to be honest, that's a kind of neat-ish effect, but it's not what we're after here. Am I still in numpad 0 mode? I thought I was. What's happened to this? Oh, I pressed Control Z and unlinked these. What the hell happened there? So we need to make this different. Now, I don't want to use bricks like this. I want them to be squares-ish. So you see where it says offset here? Oh, wait, let me zoom in on this. Offset here. I'm going to click and drag. And then it's more like tiles. But these tiles are wide. So we're going to go down the thing here to row height and put in 0.5. And then these become squares. Now, these squares aren't lined up very good. But we also want to scale them up so there's just one set of them, ideally. Okay, this could take some time. If you get it about where you want it to be, or you want some more fine-tuned control, hold down Shift and then click and drag, and it moves it in a slower fashion. Kinda. It's a bit hard to tell, but it's definitely doing it because I said it is. And if I said it is, it's real. Okay, what if we moved it to... Oh, that seems to be lined up on all the corners there. What about over here? What about over the other side? Is it matching on the other side? Ah, damn it. Close enough. So we have ourselves like a little tiled thing. Let's press F12 and render it and see what we get. Okay, we zoomed in a little bit, but it looks all right. I don't know. I think it looks all right, personally speaking. You may disagree with me, but you may also be wrong. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Whoa, when I move this... what the hell's happening here? When I move this up like that, why is that moving? Why is the top window moving? I've no idea, but it is. I didn't want that to happen. Oh, I think it's something to do with the camera. I can bring it back down, right? Right, okay. So this brick texture, we've shown what the offset does. I've shown what the scale does and the brick height and thingy does. Now it's time to talk about how the brick texture works, because the brick texture is fairly good. There's these different bricks here, which makes sense. But if I change one of these colors to be mostly just red like that, you can really see what's going off. We give it one color, we give it a second color, and it fades the bricks between these two colors sort of randomly. So no two bricks are quite the same. They look kind of the same, but they're not actually, I think. Yeah, so there's different colored bricks all over. There's even some gray ones. I can't remember what colors I used before. Can I zoom out or something and get that color? Ah, there we go. I think I used a kind of orangey, pale orangey color. And then what was the second color? Was it kind of pale reddish color? Huh. You'll have to look at what you think is some good colors right here. You might want to use green instead. Maybe green and blue. Maybe green and purple. Feel free to go crazy, but just for the sake of getting it to look a bit like how I said, I'm going to use a dark red and a yellowish kind of color. You can even change the mortar color. You may have noticed this here. You can change the mortar color if you wanted to be whatever. You could even have it, and here's an easy way to get a grid effect. Do what we've kind of done there, but set the brick colors to absolute blackness. And then just give the mortar like a color like that. And you've got yourself an easy grid right there. But I'm actually going to make it like that. Okay. So we got that there. And that's still doing that, which is very annoying. Let me press F12. Just have a quick little check now. We can see those cubes there. They're not cubes. They're squares. Right. Let me just make sure that we're not zoomed in too far. Nope. This is normal zoom. So that is more or less how it's going to look like on the view. So yeah, to make sure you zoomed in right, fractional zoom 1:1. And this looks about normal. So now I'm going to press escape out of there. And now we've set it up for one. We've set it up for all of these. We've just got to move it to the right positions. Which I moved these manually, didn't I? Oh no, that's going to be troublesome. There is a way. There is always a way in Blender. So I'm going to numpad 0. We've got some crazy texturization going off right now. Don't worry about that. So what we want to do is we want to move this object to this object. And we have to do this in a two-part process. So we want to click on this bottom object, which is right here. And then we want to go to Object. Oh no, we want to press Shift S. And that brings up this menu here. It's a selection cursor thing. So we've selected this bottom shape right here, and we want to move something called the cursor to that position. We can only move one object to the cursor position or place the cursor position at the center of the current object. So to move this to be on this, we have to move the cursor, which is this thing over here. We haven't talked about that, but that's the cursor. That's where, if I was to move this somewhere, I can't remember how you move the cursor. It's got to be something. It's got to be something. How the hell did I do it? I can't remember how to. Oh, right. So it's Shift and right click. So now that I've moved that there, if I was to, am I still in edit mode? Shift A, add a cube. It now adds a cube wherever the cursor is. So the cursor is pretty important. But I'm going to click on this object. I'm going to press Shift S, and I'm going to move the cursor to to select which one? Cursor to selected, like that. And then click this object, Shift S, selection to cursor, and that's moved it down like that. And it's by using that technique there that we can make sure that any duplicates of these that we put in are centered on these. So that's what we're going to do right now. We've got the edge here. We're going to duplicate it. We're going to move this to be about the right position. Then we're going to click on the object behind it. Just click on it like that. Shift S, cursor to selected. And then click on your edge 001 object, Shift S, selection to cursor, like that. Sorry, I was just scratching my face there right in front of the webcam. Webcam, it's a microphone. All right, and then do the same again over here. Move it kind of over to the right position in front of this other object here. Click on the object, the stars BG object, Shift S, cursor to selected, click on your edging, selection to cursor, like that. And these are all going to be perfectly aligned. It's actually probably a good thing that I did manually place these so they're all over the place, so I could show you this pretty cool tip. Right, so Shift S, cursor to selected. I've missed a ton, so many complications. Oh, hello, officialkins, late again. That'll be 20,000 lines. Well, we've had fun. I say we've had fun. I've had fun. Everyone else has probably been like, man, this guy's gone off the rails. What is he doing with his life? But we've made a little overlay art project like this. We haven't put the edging around there. Yes, it's called edging. Don't worry about it. But it's going to look pretty cool. And I hope it looks pretty cool. But how do I get out of this view? You know me, fashionably late. I don't know. Are you actually fashionable, though? I don't know. Jury's kind of out on that one. So I'm going to do the same again over here. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to move this to the... Oh, but this has a different size. We could start it again from scratch the way we did off that. I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. I'm going to, do the same thing. Shift S, cursor to this background thing. And then click on the edging and selection to cursor. So it's about there. I'm going to do what's known as a tactical move right here. We're going to go into wireframe view. We're going to press tab to go into edit view. And we're going to press A twice to deselect everything. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these things here. All of these. Oh, yeah. Did I mention this? Go into this vertex editing mode. I didn't mention that, did I? I absolutely know I didn't. Okay, and then just hold down Control and just pull it until it reaches about there, which is pretty cool. Then do the same on the other side. Make sure to Shift A to unselect all those faces you just had hold of. And then press, I didn't mention this, press B to do a box selection. I didn't mention that, did I? Sorry about that. I didn't mention that the first time, but I have mentioned it now. B for box selection. In edit mode, you have to B for box selection. And now we're going to do B for box selection again after unselecting everything. Select these top bits. We'll zoom in and hold down Control and drag them up. I'm not sure where to go, so I'm going to just stop there and then hold down Control and drag them up like that. And then just do the same on the bottom. Deselect everything with double A and then move this stuff down. I'm going to move it down like this. And then move it down even further. And it just seems to happen to I was about to say snap right into the correct position. And if we press F12 right now, we've got borders on everything. It looks pretty cool. I was thinking of maybe adding some extra animation, but I don't know if it'll work or if it's easy to do. I don't want to put too much more information into people's brains because we've had a good time so far. We're going to select this edge here. Am I in edit mode? I am in edit mode, right? Okay. This edge object here, we're going to select this and call it edge webcam. Webcam. All right. It's Edge Webcam now, which is pretty good. Is there a... What's this frequency? Or do I want to know? Doesn't seem to do anything. Oh boy, it's been changing stuff, but it seems to take a while to do it. Crazy. No, I'm probably not going to do any extra stuff in, but we are going to put in that little, you see, in our finished thing. It's not bloody there, is it? Galaxies. In our finished thing, we had a little shine that would move across like that, across the whole thing, just to give it a little bit of a vibe going off, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to do that same thing here. Now, I know there's going to be a problem with this when we first do it. Hold on. We've got this background noise going off. I know there's going to be a problem when we first do this, but we're going to go for it. Right, okay. So I am going to... If we press... I think it's... Is it Shift C? It is Shift C. It zooms us right out like that. But what it also does is Shift C moves the cursor to back being in the very middle, because we'd been moving it all over to move things around. So it's now back where it was. And we're going to press Shift A to add a light source. We already have one light source in our scene, which is the sun, but we can have a second one, which is this area light here. Just here. Where is it? It's here. Okay, so this area light is pretty special. We're going to make it 9999, so it's really bright. And we actually want it to be shining down on the stuff. So if I... Right, okay. Is there a way to just quickly, for now... Right, in the film, turn off this transparent effect. Thank you. I can actually see my sanity coming back to life. Right, so we have this object here. I want to scale this up. I think I have to use this, don't I? Right, so the shape of this is a square. No, we want it to be a rectangle. Because then we can set the size of this object. I'm going to move it up slightly so it's not... It's above things. And then we're going to move it... oh yeah, I'm going to make it so that the size Y is really wide. Like this. Webcam, got it. Yep, webcam. In fact, I'm going to press numpad Z to look down from above. Can I turn off the camera so it doesn't show up? We can still look through it, yeah. Oh, that's good. So we're going to make it like, I don't know, make it about 80Y and size X, make that 2. This is on the area light. So now, if I move this over here, are we in rendered mode? Don't really see any difference. What about if I make it 999.9? Not seeing any difference. Why am I not seeing any difference? Shadow. Don't have a shadow. Is it facing upwards? No, it's facing downwards. What? You didn't do this earlier? Why is it not doing it right? Why is it not right? Oh. Oh, could it be that? It may be that. I may have told you to set up these textures totally wrong, by the way. Let me just click on one. There's no shine or light going into here. Right, so we're going to add into... this is a shader editor, by the way, people. We're going to click on the webcam background blue stars type thing. And we're going to add in a shader... Which one was it? A principled BDSF, the default one? Now that looks like it's working. That looks very much like it's working. Maybe a little too much. This specular needs to turn that off. Yeah. It is. We did make it an ultra powerful light though. We did. So we need to reduce this down. 9999. Power of the light is 9999. You see there, it's just giving a little bit of a glow to the things that it's in front of. Right, so yeah, I fucked up. I told you wrong. Right, on this other object, the edge fading, well, the edgeness, add a shader, the principle BDSF. And down here where it says specular, you want to turn that almost completely off. And so now we've got this bar of light, which is here. If we press F12 to render it, you can kind of see that there's that light there. But I also want it to be at a bit of an angle as well. So I'm going to click on this light and I'm going to press R to rotate 45 degrees like this. And then we've got a copy of the light, which is right there. I'm going to move this over. You know what? I'm not going to move it. Yeah, oh no, I am going to move it. I am going to move it. At first I was indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. There is a little bit of a... Right, so I wanted a little bit of an effect. You can see here that the clouds are being illuminated as well by this light that's passing over. So if you are okay with that and you want it to look like that, that's fine. I wanted to do something where for this highlighting illumination that's going to be animated and coming across the screen, I wanted it to only be affecting the edges. So if you are okay with it looking like this, then you don't have to do this next bit that I'm about to do. But I'm going to do it because I want it to just affect the edges and for the background to look like a background that's not like suddenly being lit up. It's up to you. It's up to you how you do it. But basically, in a nutshell, I'm going to move this light so it's a bit more that way, like that. So it's now going up above as well as below the objects. So basically, I can't remember what I was about to say there. Right, these edges here, we've got all these edges. Edge, hold down shift, select all of these edge shapes here. And the area light as well. So you've highlighted all them. But not the camera. Oh, balls. There's the camera there and then there's... Can I call this one edge light? Because then it'll be under E and it'll get moved down. Edge light like that. Okay, all the edges are together now. So we've got these. And I'm going to move these upwards. I wanted to move them because otherwise we would have selected the camera as well. And the camera, somewhere up above, I don't know where it is, but the camera is somewhere up above, would move as well. Not that that would matter. Yeah, that wouldn't have mattered, but never mind. We've done it now. So what we've done is we've moved that above, and we've got the highlight in there, but it's not affecting the clouds, which is the kind of effect that I was going to go for. But if you wanted it to also affect the clouds, you didn't have to pull it up like this. So you can Control Z on that. And now for the coup de grace, the finale of finales. We're going to move this object. No. Oh, yeah, we are moving it. We're going to move it on its red thing until we see. You can probably just about see that there is a bit of shine on that last object. We're going to move it over here until that's definitely gone. Like that. And now we need to animate this. And this is the final part of the puzzle. So you want to go down here to... what was it called again? The timeline, which is right here. And you want to... With your edge light selected, you want to press I to insert location. So that inserts a keyframe saying at frame 0, this thing is right here. Now I'm going to increase the amount of frames here. You see what we've got here? We've got start and end. This is the start frame of the animation. It sets what the start frame is. And the end frame, I want to change to be 500. So that adds a lot of frames here. The darker parts of the timeline are beyond the edges, the start and the end of the animation. And this little thing here, as you move it up, you'll see a little marker appearing because that's like a little timeline. You'll know exactly what this is if you've ever used like a movie editing program. It's like a little thing where you can move the marker of what's playing right now. But I want to make this 500. In fact, no, I want to make this 400. So I want this light to pass over and highlight all of these objects here. But then I want there to be a bit of a delay, which is what this gap is here. So we want it to have finished moving to this side by this. Otherwise, if we didn't have any delay, it would just be like the highlight would move across, then it would move across, then it would move across, and there'd be no delay. Which, if you want that, then that's fine. But I'm actually going to move this across here, move it to its new position like that on the other side somewhere, and then press I and insert location. And now you've got two position location even keyframes right here. So as you move between them, you see this light is moving. It's having a good old move about. So now you've got yourself an animation. You can even play this animation. You can press space and play it. It almost looks like a little satellite shape as I'm looking at it. You can maybe, if we zoomed in a little bit, you'd maybe see, let's try that again. You can see that highlighting going off as it's moving across the thing. Pretty cool. So that is everything done. Well, not everything. All right. It's half done. There's a few other things we need to do. But the first thing that we need to do right now is, if we're happy with everything, which hopefully we are, and if not, we're not, is we need to render this as a movie. So let me just check something. All right, the background is gray instead of the black that it was before, but that's fine because we're going to cut all that away. So now it's time to check out the render settings. Wait, is this renderer properties? Yeah, I mean, you could even. It is possible. You've got a little bit of a shine going off here. To add in an effect, like there's a bloom thing that you can add. If we was to look at the thing there, it gives a little bit of a haziness to the object and the surroundings. You might want to investigate that. What's ambient occlusion do? I don't know. Motion blur, self-explanatory. I won't bother turning it on though, just for this simple thing. You could maybe increase the intensity of the bloom to be a lot more. Doesn't seem to do anything. Threshold, make that, oh, now even the grey background has got a little blurriness going off to it. Not good. What was this at before? Control Z, put it like that. That could look pretty good. Maybe. Maybe it'll look good. We'll find out soon, won't we? Right, so now it's probably the last chance, if you wanted to move any of these boxes or this webcam window around, to do it. And I'm going to assume that you've already done that. If not, pause the video if you're watching on YouTube and get that done, get this put wherever. You can have multiple different combinations. We could render this out to a movie, and then maybe you've got a different game where you need this area of the screen uncovered. You could just move these two objects here to somewhere else and re-render the screen. You got information that's critical to your game near the top of the window. You could click on these objects, move them around, and then just re-render this scene. It's easy, and you've got the power and hopefully the tools and the balls to do it now. I say balls, I meant confidence. Right, okay. So we want to go into the second panel here and set some render options. I would suggest a frame rate of 30. We have a 500 as our final frame. So if we, where's my calculator? Right, it's over here. If we have 500 frames and they're at 30 frames a second, it takes it 16 seconds to complete the animation. You could, if you wanted to, set it as 30, but as 60 frames a second, and that would obviously only be 8 seconds long. But it would, a 60 FPS full screen movie that we're going to be doing effects on, it would cause a bit of lag, so consider that carefully. I'm going to go with 30. Yeah, I'm going to go with 30. Right, okay. Actually, the shine is only happening for certain amounts of time. Is it maybe possible that I could... Oh, well, yeah, I know it is possible. Why am I even saying this? How is about I zoom in, it's the x-axis, GX. And when does that shine start to appear? About there. So if I move it back to about there, oh no, it's not gone around the window. And then click insert location. Is that where it was before? I have a feeling that I've moved it further away. GX. Because I clicked outside of the window. It's not lighting up. I see that corner lighting up there. Move it back to about there. Insert location. Because I think I put it a bit too far away. And then the side, no, then the side that's over here. You can jump to keyframes on this. That's what these sort of in the middle options are here. Jump to keyframe that way, jump to keyframe that way. And that's not lit up. Can I GX and move this back this way? It's not, oh, it is lighting it up a little bit. Okay, so about there seems to be fine. Insert location. So now there's more frames of it actually moving around. Actually, it's very slowly picking up speed, and then in the middle, it's very fast. Oh, wait. Wait, what? Wait, what? We've put in a second keyframe. Wait, but this keyframe is at 0, and the animation starts at 1. That doesn't matter. Okay, so, oh yeah, a little thing. If you accidentally scroll around on here, you'll lose your keyframes like that. If you press middle mouse button, hold it down, and just move your mouse down to drag basically upwards, it should come back to you. All right, I'm also going to do another thing. I want it to move very smoothly throughout the whole thing. So I'm going to press A to make all of these little points selected. Did you see when I unselected them? They changed to be a kind of gray color. Can I zoom in on these to make... No, these little icons don't get any better. But when I pressed A, they went to yellow. I almost said green. I don't know why, to make them all selected. And we want to... I'll show you how to do this. At the minute, when the animation starts... Well, from that side, it starts off going at a fair old whack. But then it slows down near the end. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. If you did want to change it and it's maybe moving too slowly at the start and the end and very fast in the middle, what you would do though is... Oh, I've gone right on it. You would right click on one of these little keyframe icons here and click linear. In fact, I've done just that and now it's not gonna... Right, okay, so it's gonna move at the same speed throughout the whole animation now. That can kind of work. And that can kind of work. Right, okay. So that's good now. In my opinion, that's good. Why would you even want it any higher than 30 FPS? Is it even necessary? There is a little bit of a smoothness difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS, but that won't be visible if your stream is set in settings to be in video to be only 30 FPS. If you have a 60 FPS movie, like a 60 FPS version of this overlay, when your actual stream FPS is only 30, you're an idiot, because it will be spending twice as much processing power as it needs, because it will be drawing 60 frames per second when every other frame won't be seen by your stream. So you may want to just sync it up with that. But I've got it at 30 FPS and that is good. So the last thing to do is we want to actually make this render out a movie. So what we want to do is we want to go to, we've set some options here where it says output here. I want to make this to be the same place as before. Okay, so it's here. So I'm going to call this overlay galaxy. And now I'm thinking of Galaxy chocolate, and goddamn, the shop is open for another 90 minutes. Okay, I'll be done with this tutorial within 90 minutes. Don't worry about it. Right, okay, so we've set where we want it to go to. Actually, this file format here, we want it to render out an animation, not a series of images, not a single image, but an animation. So where it says file format here, you have to click that and change it to say to what is FFmpeg video. It's this option right here. And that means that it's going to do a video. And then in encoding, to be something that Obs can see, you need to change where it says container to... I can hear a dog barking. I swear I closed my window. I hope I did. Otherwise, like, my whole neighborhood's just been getting a free Blender tutorial. Okay. And then the container, change that from Matroska to MPEG. Show dog. It's not my fucking dog. I don't know whose dog it is. It's outside somewhere. Hold on. I don't think I shut my window. Oh, well. What's done is done. Right, so change the container to MPEG-4. Output quality, this is important. Video codec, if you've got it, it should be H.264. If you ain't got it, just use probably MPEG-2 would be good. But hopefully you've got H.264. Output quality. You may think that this option here, which is lossless, is the best option. Best graphics, best quality, excellent. But actually, it's not. The lossless uses a very high data rate, which in theory is good, but it will lag your computer. Perceptually lossless is excellent quality. I can't really tell the difference between the two, except that one runs smoothly. So I'd say use perceptually lossless. Oh yeah, and also, you see where we've put output here? We've put overlay galaxy, put .mp4 on the end of it like that. And then you're all set. Now I'm about to render this, but to make this render faster, I'm going to press Z and go to wireframe mode. So it's not, if I don't change it to that, it will attempt to update this in its rendered view mode, which will just take a little bit of the graphics power, which it could be using on doing the animation. So I'm going to render that right now, and it won't take very long. But I apologize if you get any drop frames. I'm going to have a drink while it does. Control and F12 to render. And it's rendering. You don't see anything happening, but you will at some point. Huh. Stream isn't lagging. That's pretty good. Oh, here comes the shine. You can kind of see it moving across. Now, it's rendering slower than the actual movie speed, so don't worry too much about that. But you can kind of slowly see it rendering the thing. And, yep, that's definitely a car going past outside. And this will take some time. How far through is it? If you've got the preview up like this, you can actually minimize it and it will show you on the timeline how far through it is. I don't know whether it's me, but it feels like it's rendering faster now that I'm not in that screen. I swear it is. I could be wrong. It's happened before. Remember that time when the dinosaurs went extinct? Yeah, that was the last time I was wrong. Let's hope it's not happened again. Anyway, while this is rendering, I'll just take the opportunity to thank everyone for watching. I hope you found this video informative, useful, or probably you've just been like, mate, what is going on here? What is this all about? But fear not, this video will be going on YouTube after the fact, and you'll be able to watch it there at your leisure and pause, or even fast forward if you think that I rabbit on a bit, which I definitely do. Right then, so we're going to go back over here. We already have that movie that we've put in before, but that is the original movie. And I'm going to get rid of it now. So currently all we've got in this overlay scene here is we have the text parts of the overlay and a background movie just for some flavor. Oh yeah, and a webcam. But that's not really important, is it? What's test? Oh, that was the test thing that we did earlier. We don't actually need that. I'll get rid of it. Okay, and then I will add in a media source. Now you need to find... Oh, hold on, give it a name. OVLRY Galaxy. give it a name, and then browse and find the file. I know it's there, so I've got that. And we have this, but yeah. Was the dinosaurs your first memory? Got 'em. What? I don't know what you mean. Don't know what you mean there. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so the overlay galaxy, we've made this as a movie. Right, okay. Giveaway. Giving away a 50... Yeah, I'm doing the giveaway tomorrow, by the way. If anyone tuned up for that. Because I forgot about it until halfway through this stream. And a gaming day is probably a better day to do it anyway. It's much more fun. I'm going to play in this cool game. It's called Holdfast tomorrow. Tick the loop button and tick close file when inactive. And then this is done. Except it's not, because we have to cut away all of this grayness around here. Which won't actually take too long. Oh wow, the shininess does work. Ah, it looks pretty cool. So, load. Okay, so the easiest way of doing this is the way we're going to do this. So I'm gonna hit rendered mode, and then we can see all these objects here. I'm gonna just make sure nothing is selected, nothing else is selected, and then I'm gonna highlight these objects here, the galaxy, the stars BG objects. And I should name these, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna Shift D to duplicate them, right click to leave it there, and then move these up until they're on top of the other objects there. And then I'm going to click on one. I'm going to go over to where the materials tab is and click that. And then I'm going to go to where the emission tab is and click that. And give it... Hello? Oh, wait, shit. I forgot to make it a new material first. Okay, Control-Z that. Control-Z that. Okay, go up to the top. These two pieces of paper, click on them. Stars BG, call it white. Call this copy white. And then scroll down. Emission. Make it like bright white. Ah, actually. For this, go into your, if you set on a little bloom factor, if you turned on the bloom thingy right here, turn it off again, because that will cause problems in, yeah, that will definitely cause problems in what we're about to do. So we've made this white material, which is right here. And then we're gonna click on the next object that we duplicated and moved up. Change that to white. Click on the next object, do the same again. And keep doing that until you've got all these objects. Like that. And now, press numpad 0 and everything looks all white. So if we look now, yes, everything indeed truly does look all white, except the background. We need to make that black, because anything on the mask, which is what we're about to make, that's black gets cut away. To do that, the background is set to be grey. Click on this red thing here, which is World Properties. Background, color, make it black. Proper black, like that. And then press F12 again. And then, image. Save as image. Hopefully this works. I already did this, but I'm going to do it again as what? Galaxy Cutter .png. Well, you don't need to put .png. Just click save. And it will do it itself. Excuse me, I just did a burp there. So now, back inside of Ops, we've got this set up. Filters. Go to Effect Filters and add a image mask. Like this, and then go to Browse, and Galaxy Cutter, wasn't it? That was the one. Do that. What? Sorry. Why is everything sort of see-through now? What is going on? What the hell is happening? Why is it see-through? It's not working as expected. That's strange. Why is it doing this? I thought we were done, but apparently we're somehow not done. Oh wait, I didn't just, alright, I thought I closed down the file, thank God. I thought we were done. Right, okay. So on this object here, we are clicking on the right object. We're on the white object. I tell you what, one thing we should do. Oh, God. Which one of these is... All right, okay. You see, I'm victim of my own laziness. I should have been renaming these things, and I haven't. Right, so we've got that one, that one, that one, and that one. So all of... What's this? And that's that. So the webcam which is there, turn that off. Click both these buttons to turn it off. The stars BG... Alright, that's one of the white ones. So turn off that one, turn off that one, turn off all the ones underneath. Turn off both of their things, and turn off all their edges. All their edges indeed. So nothing else is interfering with this. Oh, with the camera wasn't on. I don't think that would make a difference, but in case it did, don't do it. We've even turned off the edge light as well. Would that have had an effect? I don't know. Right, and then let's click on one of these white objects. Right, the emission strength isn't very much. This is on the... Move in, thank you. This is on the white texture that we're on now. The emission strength down here, change that to 99999. And I did notice a change in the brightness of that. I think that may be it. Right, we've done this again. Image, save as. I'm actually just going to save over the one I did previously like that. And now, is this the, yeah, no it is because it has the shine on. Right, so it updated in real time and now we've got as objects there. Of course, we do need to move this so that it's at the bottom like that. And then I already had these kind of there, but I can move them in a bit like that. Bit like that. Bit like that. Only one Konomi's box is not big enough. Huh. Sugar. If we click off that, it doesn't quite work. Oh well. I'm just going to move that over there. You could go back and adjust these if you needed to. There's several ways around that. I'm sure at this point in time, you've probably got enough brains to figure that out. Oh, there's no webcam. Now there is. But I'm kind of the wrong shape. Do I want any stars in the background of me? I mean, I could do. I could definitely do that. What I could do is I could add... Oh, look, it's me and big. Don't I look old? Don't I look bald? All right, color correction. I'm going to add one of these and make me a bit see-through like that. Would that work? Not really. Not really, no. Filters. No, that's on the wrong thing. Webcam filters. And just maybe turn that off, I guess. Turn that off. You look very barren-like. Well, that's a compliment and a half. I could make the webcam smaller so then no one will ever know it's me. Look, now it really does look like I'm in the middle of space, doesn't it? Very much like I'm in the middle of space. So, that was, in a nutshell, in a rough little thing, 2 tutorial things. As we said before, we've now made the galaxy overlay. So, because a lot of people could be interested in doing their own overlays if they knew how to do it, I am actually going to be doing another overlay tutorial next week, which is going to be like, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot more detailed graphics that we're going to be making, because what we've made this time is not very good. But we've got some parts of the learning experience out of the way, which mean that next week's can be done pretty well. And it's going to be like, most things are going to be animated. There's going to be some cool effects that we're going to be learning about and some modifiers. There's going to be kind of a lot of cool things. And with the knowledge that you've got now, you can maybe go away and make your own overlays or have a little experiment. Feel free to. And that, in a nutshell, is everything for this stream. Let me just check something. Is my shout-outs working yet? Because I didn't do any of them. I don't remember how to type on a keyboard. Let's see. Nope, still not working. Okay, it's because I've got 2 copies of OBS open, I'm sure of it. I'm going to test it later. So, I feel like I'm thoroughly blended now. Exactly, you will do. That's kind of the point. So, next week, that's what we're going to be doing. It might not even be quite as long of a stream next week. We'll only do the next week on the overlays thing, and then we'll be moving on to something after that, like a fuller project where we're going to be doing a lot more. Because these first things, like overlays, are easy to make, to be honest. They're easy to make if you have the basics down. Very well blended. You two should blend together. Right, okay. I am good. That was a pretty dirty laugh. It's time to go. It's time to go to bed. Much appreciated as always. If you want to follow through, but you had a hard time watching it live, don't threaten me, okay? All right. Give all of this a go. I just need to think of a project. Well, just call it the Teddy Teabag Project. There we are. It could be like a DJ thing. The Teddy Teabag Project. All right, maybe not a DJ thing. Still going to make a banner and then a pizza. Yeah, you need to make that. Nobody made a pizza. Nobody made a pizza in Blender, and I'm very sad about that. And I'm going to cry. But you will be able to watch the YouTube video of this, which you can play at half speed or double speed, whatever you want. And so with that, once again, it's been a fun session. I hope you've enjoyed. If you're watching on the YouTube, please... Oh, wait. There we are. Let's go into the end screen. If you're watching on the YouTube, please don't watch all of these back to back. Take a little time to learn all the things and experiment with the things. And let me see. Is anyone else live right now? No, it looks like everyone that's live is knobheads. Well, that's a shame. I'm kidding. Will raids work? I'm able to do raids. Okay, raid. Let's sort this out. There is Daisy as well, but I raided her once recently. She's gonna start thinking I'm weird if I raid her every Thursday. Okay. We'll go raid our good friend Nicky Madison, twitch.tv/Nicky Madison. Feel free to give him a follow. He's currently playing Ark Survival. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Do go and show some love to our boy Nicky. I sure will. And I will be back tomorrow with the giveaway, which should have been today, but I forgot about it. This shit happens. But thank you very much, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed watching. If you're watching on the YouTube, please feel free to hit the like button, the subscribe button, any kind of button, just not the nuclear war button, and we'll have a good time. And thank you everyone that's been here and has chatted and interacted. It's always nice to know that people actually watch rather than just nobody being here. Just saying. Alright, see you tomorrow, guys. Have fun. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.